Think the truth about themselves to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am James Hake, filling in for Jesse Lee Peterson. He is out a few days here, or several days. He should be back next week on Tuesday, although I'll believe it when I see it, right? Just call me Doubting Thomas. Call me Doubting Hake. I am James Hake, filling in as guest host alongside Hassan and American Anchor Baby. And now we have back with us the other expert, the new producer, as of, I don't know, almost a year now. Sean, he is back. So we will be sharing some old archive replays of JLP. It is Bible Thumper Thursday, though, and we are open to taking your calls, and we may have an expert segment, maybe not. But you know, every Thursday, JLP likes to set aside, and we want to set aside that time too, if you so please. If you'd like to call in, you can call in 1-888-775-3773. That is 888-77-JESSE, Jesse. No I in Jesse. But you can call about any topic that you like, as long as it's clean, okay? Have a clear question or comment, okay? Or you just want to say hi, that's fine too. But specifically on Thursdays, JLP points out it's difficult to what is it called? Communicate with Bible thumpers. So we set aside Thursdays because Bible thumpers need love too. I call them Bible pushers, but JLP calls them Bible thumpers. And the name sticks. So today is Bible Thumper Thursday.
A need on our neck. Why George, God? Why George? God, why? Why George, God?
I'm sorry, Jim. This is igniting. Around this time, we will be dead.
I am the daughter of two pastors. I have a strong moral core. I was trained to read and understand the Bible.
You will emerge from that as an atheist.
It's a disgrace.
That we're supposed to be transformed by the renewal of our mind.
Preach for us and then tell us what it is you mean. In your own words. Yeah, whatever you want to do.
Okay. Well, there's a verse. You want him to preach?
Yeah.
Get up and preach.
Lord have mercy. That was so black. That was so black church. Even though it's a white kid in a white Oprah show. Whites dominated Oprah's show back in the olden days. I'm looking at it on delay on Twitter. We are streaming live on the Jesse Lee Peterson Show on Twitter, YouTube, D Live, Rumble. Shout out to the Rumble crew. Odyssey, cozy.tv/JLP. You can find all of the platforms, even kick.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. And of course, TalkStream Live in the JLP Live app and the listen line, which is 641. What is it? Let me just make sure. Check my recent calls. I checked it just today. 641-793-1500. 641-793-1500. Let us know if you're having any issues with it. But TalkStream Live set up that listen line. TalkStreamLive.com. They have Jesse Lee Peterson's show. They have the Hake Report. We are working on getting American Anchor Baby and Joelle Friday on JLP Live and maybe TalkStream Live. But just ironing out details, okay? So you can listen wherever you are. If you're on the road again, going places that you've never been, if you are running from the cartels or running from the police or trying to go into the wrong bathroom and you have signal still in there, you can dial that number and be listening to the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. Today, it's guest hosted by Hake, Hassan, American Anchor Baby, and Sean. But
Bible Thumper!
It is indeed Bible Thumper Thursday, and I have an archive JLP clip from, I believe it's 2014. No, 2015. The 1st of April, 2015, April Fool's Day. And it's an interview with a man who has now passed on, a street preacher. Rest in peace to Ruben Israel. Ruben Israel of Official Street Preachers. He was a strong voice for Christ. So check out this about a 37-minute clip of JLP talking to Ruben Israel. And after that, we can get to your calls, play more archive clips, and have fun. Enjoy JLP from 2015.
I have with me in studio Ruben Israel. Ruben is the official street preacher, and he's been around the world preaching to folks about Islam, sin, homosexuality, and other things. Ruben, good morning, sir.
Hey, good morning to you.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
You know, I was watching your video, or at least some of them, last night in preparation for the show, and you were in the UK, and I heard a guy call you. He asked if you were white, and you say, "No, I'm Hispanic."
That's right.
But you look like a white man.
Well, I do live in America, and so I enunciate the English language properly, as we should. And as a matter of fact, I am very thankful to the white European Christian male.
Yes.
Had it not been for him taking over this country, as a Hispanic, Jess, I'd probably be drunk on tequila next to a cactus with a big sombrero. But he actually gave me salvation through Jesus Christ.
Wow.
He gave me a opportunity to have a business, to be married, to raise my family, the freedom to vote, the freedom to own a weapon. And so I'm very thankful, as I am to God for my salvation, for the white European Christian male who actually started this country.
That's amazing. You know, some years ago I said that instead of black people whimpering and whining all their lives about slavery, they need to be grateful, because it was because of slavery that they ended up in the greatest country in the world. And sometimes God operates in ways that we don't understand. And so instead of spending a lifetime blaming white folks and calling them a racist, we need to be grateful and start living upright, you know, getting married, raising our children, working.
That's true.
And stop hating the white man, but appreciate it for those who have died so that we could be here in this country without having to apply for membership. We were born here. And so, and they went after me for saying that. Oh, Justice said slavery was good and all that kind of stuff. And you're the first Hispanic or anyone else that I've heard say that type of stuff.
Well, again, I am thankful. I'm thankful to my parents. I actually had two godly parents.
Yeah.
I'm very thankful for them. I'm thankful for this country that I live in. And because I live in this country, the Bible says to much is given, Jess, much is required. We Christians in America are going to be judged a little bit harder than Christians in Afghanistan, Christians in China.
That's a good point.
Who can't have Bible study, who can't have a radio show and talk about God, who can't be thankful.
Yeah.
So to much is given, much is going to be required from us on Judgment Day.
A lot of folks are attacking the white male. They're calling him a racist. They say he hate women. He wants to control everything. And as a result of attacking white men, the country is going to hell in a handbasket.
Yes, it is. And as a street preacher, we do not compromise the message. What we do is we go to big events, and whatever the event is, Jess, we hammer against it and insert the gospel as the issue and the final solution. In other words, say for example on Cinco de Mayo, which is a big event here in Los Angeles, we get out there and preach. And it's funny because you have Hispanics who are risking their lives to come to this country, willing to die to come to this country, and when they come in, they want to turn America into Mexico.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Well, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Well, so as a Hispanic, I am preaching against them that God says if you want to go into his kingdom, Jess, you need to be born again.
Yeah.
I say if you want to be a citizen of this country, you got to go through the proper procedure. Otherwise, God's not going to allow you into his kingdom. And so I think our government should learn a lesson and have people go through the proper procedure.
Yeah.
You want to benefit from all of the things that this country gives you, you have to go through the proper channel.
That's amazing. And how are you perceived or received in the Hispanic community?
I am hated, as I'm sure you are.
Oh,
and
yeah.
again, it's because of my stand, and it's a godly stand. You want to have a nation, you got to have rules.
Yes.
Those borders are not there just to keep me from leaving. They're to keep those people from coming in.
Exactly.
And so we have messages like that for everything. When Farrakhan had the 1 Million Man March, brother, we were out in D.C. and we were preaching with that. In fact, we were exhorting the black people. It is unfortunate, but the blacks family were actually more together during the cotton field than they were today.
Amen.
And I would say if great-great-great-great-grandpa was standing here today, he would be rebuking you young men for using the N-word, getting these girls pregnant, how you dressed, your morality is shot, the concept of family is now a foreign commodity. And so, shame on Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, Farrakhan, and this is how we preach. We go to whatever the scenario is, and we rebuke it.
That is funny.
And we call it confrontational evangelism. A lot of preachers preach this way, but they do it in a pulpit. We take it to the actual ears that need to hear it.
So how did you become a street preacher?
A good question. I actually got saved in 1979 in my bedroom all by myself. I prayed to God, and I read the Bible. I was inspired. And I had issues with what the Bible said versus the Catholicism that I grew up with. And so I had a meeting with the local priest that I went to, and I said, I've got all these questions. I've been reading this, but I was taught this.
Yeah.
And he told me I was uneducated, and I could not read the Bible. He was the educated and the anointed one. And he told me, my function, Ruben, is to go to Mass. That's all my function is. And so he said, end of meeting, no more questions. And he said, am I going to see you at Mass on Sunday? And I said, oh, yeah, you're going to see me. I was outside at age 18 with my Bible raised, and I'm preaching to the people that I knew. My mom was in the church, and I was preaching the God of the Bible. And so 33 years later, nothing's changed. The only difference is now we're a larger group. We've got chapters all over this country. We have large signs, megaphones, and we preach very hardcore to religious people, sinful things, you name it.
So you're 18 years old. You're standing out in front of this Catholic church preaching Jesus. Your mother's sitting in the church while you're out there. What is she thinking? Lord, how did my boy get out here like this?
Yes, I'm sure she
What happened
probably
with him?
did. As a matter of fact, I know your viewers may not be able to see it, but I look like a biker. I
You
look
do.
like some guy that
Yeah.
probably just got saved out of jail.
Yeah.
Actually, it's just the opposite. Like I said, I actually had two functioning parents.
Yeah.
Didn't come to Christianity with the baggage of the drugs and the alcohol. Again, I thank my parents for being a stepping stone in my Christianity.
What did they say about you preaching in front of the church this very first Sunday?
At first, it shocked everything. They couldn't believe it. They had questions. But again, the longer I kept doing it, the more I kept doing it, it just became normal. And again, I only simply did what I read.
That's right.
My testimony, James, is not very Hollywood. I've never seen Jesus. I've never heard voices. I don't have these wild visions. I simply read the Bible. I was inspired and went out and did.
How do you see Obama?
I see Obama as somebody who represents America. And I only say that because from coast to coast, in college after college that I preach across, he represents this country well. Not me, but this country very well.
Meaning what?
Meaning we deserve a racist, Muslim, atheist, drunken, homosexual in that White House. And God was very gracious to give us somebody like that piece of dirt, Obama. But I believe we deserve even much worse.
You're calling Obama homosexual?
No, I'm saying his agenda is definitely pro-homosexual.
Okay, yeah,
his agenda is definitely pro-Muslim.
Right.
And so, but again, I can't judge him by people that I associate in the real world, on the sidewalks across America. This man does represent our country, not you and I.
888-775. Ruben Israel is with me. He is an official street preacher all over the world, and it doesn't matter the color or the event, he is there. Let me just quickly ask, and then I want to give the people examples of your type of street preaching. Why do you say that we deserve Obama?
I say that just because as America today, we are unworthy of a Ronald Reagan. I say that because that is the heartbeat of our nation. And if you want to know the heartbeat, we don't need to have a particular survey. Ask a street preacher. He'll tell you the heartbeat of what goes on in every city. And it is my testimony from coast to coast that we deserve somebody like Obama. He is actually what our people in America want. And so it's not like God just put him there.
Right.
This is somebody people voted. Now, whether they voted because of his politics, whether they voted because it just emphasized they're not a racist and they're voting for a black person, whatever their purpose is, we've got that man in the White House twice. I say he doesn't represent me,
right,
but I say very boldly that he represents this country that we live in here today that's going downhill.
So you're saying then, if I'm hearing you correctly, that we deserve Obama, we the country, because the country is so demoralized now.
Yes, sir.
Turned away from God.
That's precisely. And most Christians do not want to argue or talk politics or religion. And there's a very simple reason, because they know neither of both. God is very much into politics. In fact, we have 2 books in the Bible called 1st and 2nd Kings in the Bible, which demonstrates to any Bible reader God's involved in politics. The Bible warns against a one-world government. God is very much intertwined in politics. Remember, John the Baptist rebuked the King Herod for sleeping with his brother's wife. So men of God have always been involved in the politics, and I think Christians should be involved in politics.
I do too. So you're saying that they're not involved because they don't know politics, they don't understand it, or because I was under the impression that they have been taught and encouraged by the media and some of their preachers and others not to be involved because Christians are not supposed to be.
Yeah, you have a lot of different sects in Christianity. You have some that believe everything's preordained.
Right.
So there's nothing. Why vote? Because it's already preordained.
I know, that's so crazy.
It is foolish. I believe in a person having a free will.
Yes.
And so, but I do believe in America that we have people who represent us as a nation, not necessarily you and I, but us as a nation.
There are truckloads of black people. As a matter of fact, most black people, because 98% of them voted for him the first time around, 96% the second time around. And they believe that Obama was called by God to be there. They believe that he was put in there by God. This included the black preachers, too. And they believe that anyone who disagrees with Obama or criticizes him or racist. What do you say to those black people who think God put Obama there?
I say the God of the Bible is a racist, sexist, homophobe. He only used Hebrews. He only used males, and we know what he did to Sodom and Gomorrah. So technically, there's some, but I am against not just the black race. I'm against the entire human race and their disregard for God.
Yeah.
I have stood in front of Obama's old church there on the south side of Chicago and preached in front of it numerous times. When I go,
that's Jeremiah Wright.
That's right.
Jr.
Anytime I take a visit in Chicago, I pencil him in on Sunday afternoon and morning and preach to those people going in. You talk about racist. That church is nothing more than a black KKK church.
I totally agree. Absolutely.
And this is not something I Googled. This is not a book I read. You're getting firsthand information on that public sidewalk when I preach against them. If God's going to damn America, Jesse, it's not going to be because of racism. He's going to damn America because of abortion, because of homosexuals, because of even your dollar bill has no more weight behind it. God says an unbalanced weight is an abomination. There's a lot of reasons why God would damn America, and it has nothing to do with racism.
Were you attacked for standing in front of that church by the members? Or?
Yes, we were. And this is normal. I mean, if you're a police officer, you're going to get shot.
Right.
If you're a fireman, you might get burnt. If you are a street preacher, expect to get punched and pushed around and slapped. That's why sometimes it's good to look like me.
I want to give the folks an example. Andre, let's go to soundbite number 2 there. Here's walking in the park. This is Hyde Park, London. And you're walking in this park. You're saying that there go the neighborhood. Here come the Christian.
That's right.
And on this particular day, you dealt with homosexuality too, but you were talking about Islam.
Yes, sir.
And that the Muhammad guy is a
Muhammad.
And there were like Muslims all around you.
That's right. As a matter of fact, Hyde Park has a tradition of being free speech. They glory in that. There's a long history there.
Right.
Everybody who has a beef can go to Hyde Park. If you hate hubcaps, you can stand on a ladder and talk against it. So that's why we walked in and we said, there goes the neighborhood, here comes the Christians. And we addressed 2 particular sins. And those sins, Christians have been arrested in London against free speech. You cannot speak against another man's religion, and you cannot say things against homosexuals.
Yeah,
it's offensive.
Right.
And we did them both. We had the American flag, and we had argued every day that we were in London. And so, but we made it very clear, Muslims do believe in Jesus, but not as the Son of God. That's a big difference.
How do they believe? What do they believe?
They believe that he's a good man. They believe that he was a prophet, and they leave it at that.
Oh.
And they try to gain ground with Christianity, but then after that, they reject the fact that he is a son of God, and so let alone God in the flesh. And so, but we say Muhammad, cursed be his name, was a This guy had numerous wives. He married a 7-year-old girl, had intercourse at age 9. Jess, if Muhammad were alive today, 2014, he would be a guest star on the Jerry Springer show. That's how wicked and perverted this religious guy is. He is no more than a prophet than the weatherman.
Are the people of the Muslim religion, are they taught these things about Muhammad?
No, but it's in their books. It's in their holy books. Most of them try to be naive. Many of them, it is the fastest growing religion. I give them credit for that. But then again, if I had a knife to my throat, I might convert too. That's why it's the fastest growing religion. It's a very bloody religion.
Yeah.
And so right now, most American Muslims, they're very quiet. But I say if Islam ever took over America, that very quiet Muslim will change, and you'll see a different individual.
I totally agree.
Yes.
I have a great concern about that. President Bush said that Islam is a peaceful religion. And I noticed on the video you said, no, it's not. It's not a peaceful religion. Why do you think President Bush said that it is a peaceful religion?
He's president, and usually when you're a president, you want to say nice things and you don't want to offend people. As a street preacher, I can care less whether I offend anybody. It's God I'm concerned about, not offending.
But you also set your country up to be destroyed.
This is true.
Because you are the president making this untrue statement.
That's right.
And it's kind of opened us up for the Muslims to come in and do what they want.
And I say it's not peaceful. James, I travel quite a bit. I'm always in airports. We have so much security in airports because of a Muslim.
I thought that was a good point when you said that on the video.
Absolutely. It has nothing to do with a gray-haired little old Presbyterian.
888-77-JESSE. We'll take your calls right after this break. Tell the folks about what you do, how to get in contact with you. They will take some calls. Also, make it clear that you support the military. You're not like that other group that is against the military.
Yeah, a lot of people mix us up with West Baptist Church, and so none of our signs have the word fag. As a matter of fact, we support our military.
Yes.
I don't believe that, to me, the Constitution and the Bill of Rights is nothing more than a piece of paper if it's not worth the blood that those men have done that. And for me to stand and say it's God's judgment would be ludicrous. And so I disagree with that group on many levels, but we got to support our military for what they do. And because of them, I have the freedom to stand on that sidewalk and to proclaim the truth.
Right on. What's your website? How can people get in contact
all
with
they
you?
have to do is look up Street Preachers, and we're usually right there. But it is called the official Street Preachers website.
Okay.
And there they have everything from attorneys to what we do, Christian T-shirts, banners. And if you're tired of sitting at a church pew and you know that there's something more, everyone believes that we're living in some type of a last day and Jesus is going to return. Let's not forget, before Jesus Christ showed up on this planet, a man like John the Baptist was used to usher him in. We need more John the Baptist out in the streets.
That's true.
So we're always looking for somebody to come on out and join us.
Will Jesus have to return, or will the people wake up?
That's a good question. And when it comes to last days, I don't really give much information. All I do know is there are people that are dying, and it was their last day today. You have some wackos out there giving dates and times.
I know. Isn't that crazy?
I avoid that like the plague.
Me too.
Yeah,
I don't even
insane.
understand. Jesus made it, or God made it clear that no one knows when he's coming. So just, be upright, watch, but live your life.
Yeah.
And you have people predicting Jesus is coming tomorrow, or the end of this year, and folks sell all their goods, and nothing happens.
I guess it's good for book sales. But, I guess you and I aren't into selling books.
No, I'm telling you, man. Let's go out to Montgomery, Alabama, and talk to Larry. Larry, good morning, sir. You're on with Pastor Israel.
Brother Peter, you're going to have to come up with an agenda to get your callers involved. I understand you have to have gas. Now, listen, your gas, you're obviously wrong, sir. You said Christians today should be involved in politics. You were wrong. You were speaking on kings and stuff, but that was on the Mosaic law. I'm under grace myself.
Okay,
the book of John 6:15, Jesus Christ refused to be part of any political regime.
Well, first of all, we don't find the word democracy in the Bible. We do live in America where we do have democracy. And because we don't find the word telephone in the Bible, I suggest you get off the phone. So if you're going to judge things properly, I say it's because of Christians like you, we have a man like Obama in office. We're supposed to vote.
Let me interject this for the sake of time. Just let me interject this right here. I'm going to tell you what Jesus said in his word, the reason he didn't have no part. In Matthew 4, the devil showed Jesus all the kingdoms of this society. Trickled right down to your day, sir, Reverend Peterson, and mine. All that trickled down because of the simple fact. Jesus said he already knew who was running. The Apostle John said he's the God of the system of things. Jesus went for his death. He said the rulers of the world is coming after me, but you got no hold on me. And for you to come on the air today and preach that stupid propaganda, Jesus Christ, we already know who's running society. If you vote for a mayor or governor, you have been part of Satan's system of things. Shame on you, sir.
Well, I tell you, that's easy for you to say, Larry, living in America 2014. I'd hate to have you live in Germany in the year 1930. You would probably have supported Hitler killing Jews based on your statement. We live in America 2014, and so you got to deal with that.
Yeah, Larry hung up. I don't know what they mean when they say that. I just don't get it. My mind don't understand it. When they say, well, Christians are not supposed to be in politics because we are under grace, and as a result, I don't know what all that means.
Yeah, he's probably got a little bit of residue of being a 5-point Calvinist, which believes everything is already preordained. But, when a president, whether we elect them or not, is sworn into office, he puts his hand on the Bible. That's I'm glad the ACLU wasn't around when that was first, put together.
Yes.
We have God involved in a lot of the founding fathers. Very precise. It wasn't just a general Hindu God. They quoted verses And so God was very much involved and alive in the beginning, the genesis of this country.
So this teaching that we are under grace and we should not be involved, that's come from the Calvary religion?
Yeah,
or
it's pretty
teaching?
much Calvinist, where they just believe everything is preordained. There's nothing I can do. It's already going to happen, and so my hands are tied. Don't vote. Don't do anything. I think it's foolish.
But in the scriptures, it talks about how God gave the power to the people to protect themselves.
Oh, absolutely. We do. I mean, we're going to be responsible for our actions.
Yes.
And so how we handle things, what we do, we're definitely going to be responsible. So not everything is preordained. God didn't preordain the socks that you wore today.
Right.
He gave you the choice to pick out a pair of socks today.
That's right. And one other point about that, if we believe in God and we are truly children of God, we have the authority given to us by God to stand up against evil, to fight back.
Not only the authority, brother, but I would say the obligation.
Yes.
The obligation.
And so what I don't understand about some Christians who think like Larry, why have this given to you by God and all you're going to do is sit back and let your world fall apart?
Yeah, it's insane. To me, if I were a criminal, I'd go to Larry's house because he's not going to defend himself.
That's a
you
good
can take
point.
anything you want to if by Larry's own understanding.
Excellent point. 888-775-3773. Let's go out to Los Angeles and talk to the Bible Go-To Guy. Bible Go-To Guy, you're on with Pastor Israel.
Yes, and I'm honored to be on with Pastor Israel. You two gentlemen are why Christianity is so, it's making what I consider a turnaround. Without, and that last caller, let me just go back to that last caller.
That was Larry from Montgomery.
Yeah, Larry. John the Baptist was asked by soldiers what they should do to repent. He didn't tell them to lay down their arms. He said, don't use your position of authority to create unnecessary violence and to harass the people.
Amen.
That's all he said.
That's right.
Jesus was around plenty of soldiers and never, ever told them, oh, you need to lay down your arm. You're sinful just for being in it. That was crazy.
That's right.
And it's crazy, and it's cowardly, actually, of those Christians. They're the immoral ones who won't do anything because it's all, we're supposed to be under grace and all that. That's the same line of argument.
Let me take a quick break, Bobby. Go to God. I'll let Pastor Israel respond right after this break. Okay, folks, welcome back. Let me go back to the phones. Bobby, go to God. You still there?
I am.
Okay, go ahead.
This whole notion of not being involved in the life around you in every sense, a Christian is supposed to be involved in life in every sense, in his family, in his church, in his government.
Amen.
When if those Jehovah's Witnesses and all those other weaklings don't look at that scripture that says we war against evil in high places, why don't they use that scripture to interpret government?
That's true.
No, they want to use it. They just want to keep everything spiritual so they don't have to do anything. That makes me sick.
America has been neutered. There's no question about it. Men,
very much.
How can a man be a spiritual man when he can't even be a real man? And so, Peter pulled out a sword and he took a guard's ear off. That's in the Bible. We don't have Jesus rebuking Peter saying, Peter, if I told you once, I told you 1,000 times, put that sword away. He told Peter, put it back in the sheath. Put it back where it belongs. He didn't tell him to get rid of it. And so, a sword was not a kitchen utensil. And most Christians, they know nothing about the Bible, nothing about a weapon, nothing about living in this country. Again, they've been neutered.
Maybe that's why Mike Tyson bit off the boxer's ear. You heard about Peter.
Oh, yes. Hey, why not?
Thank you, Bobby. Go to God. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Here is an example of Reverend Pastor Israel over in London. This is so interesting, folks. I want you to see it and hear it. If you're watching live stream video, you can see it, but I also want you to hear it as well.
There goes the neighborhood. Here comes the Christians. There goes the neighborhood. Here comes the American Christians bringing Jesus Christ to this spineless nation. You guys care more about a queen than you do the King of Kings. Have you lost your mind? There, and your prophet Muhammad is a Your prophet Muhammad is a Your prophet Muhammad is a There goes the neighborhood. Here comes the Christians. There goes the neighborhood. Here comes the Christians.
1 minute. This is not my prophet. So either have a dialogue or
you said this. Walk me over here. Walk me over here. There goes the neighborhood. Here comes the Christians. There goes the neighborhood.
They see us as infidels.
Yes, they do.
Worthy of death.
As a matter of fact, I challenged them. I said, your book calls you an infidel, and he's right directly in front of me. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
And, of course, they did nothing. That country should be a lesson for America, because those Muslims are so aggressive. They've changed their law. They've milked that country dry.
Wow.
And so...
This is over the UK.
That's right. As a matter of fact, the white male is now a minority. You're either a Hindu or a Muslim out there.
Wow.
And again, this isn't something that I Googled. We spent several days out there in London preaching, and the Muslims have that place taken over.
I am very concerned, and I've said it here before. In this country, eventually the white male is going to will have become the minority. And I think if that should happen, it's over for America.
Yes, it is. As a matter of fact, God put us up in this planet to be an example, not to apologize for the past. As a matter of fact, we need to take over certain countries. No other country in the history of the world can annihilate their enemies in a war and then turn around and rebuild them.
Right.
But this country, you talk about the ultimate love your neighbor, America is. And so once we remove that, I do believe, like you, we lost it all completely.
I've been keeping my eyes and ears open to find out where white people are going next once it's over. And I heard that they're going into outer space. And so I'm saving up my money to go out there with them.
I just wish that those men would have a little bit more spine and stand up for what they believe in.
Yeah, I'm just saddened by the lack of courage in a lot of white men today.
Yes, and unfortunately, it shouldn't be this way.
That's right.
We need to be thankful. I would love just to at least have us live back into the 50s.
Yes.
Where families stayed
good
together.
Old days.
Went to church.
Yep.
You can leave your front door unlocked.
Yes.
And so you didn't have to worry about things like that.
I want to get in this final soundbite that we have because of time here, where you're talking about this guy, Muhammad, and that he was a right with his Muslim buddies here. So.
Right.
What he's looking for is a lukewarm Christian that wants to come and find some medium ground with Allah. There is no medium ground with Allah. Muhammad is a Muhammad, cursed be his name, is a you reject the Son of God. Oh, you are. You are. Your prophet is a man that looks at any 50-year-old man that looks at a 7-year-old girl and says, I want to marry her, is nothing more than a let's call a spade here at Hyde Park. Muhammad is a liar. Muhammad is a liar. Jesus Christ is the Son of God, and you can believe in a form of Jesus, but if you reject him as the Son of God, that will cost you hellfire. Question, what do you have against my God?
He doesn't exist. He doesn't exist. He's a fairy tale. That's what we have against your God, like we have against their God.
Speaking of fairy tales, can we bring up the issue of being a homosexual? Speaking of fairy tales,
you're equally fascist. Equally fascist as the Muslims, you intolerant bigots.
You were so bold and so clear to me.
and I tell you, he's trying to equate us with the Muslims. I don't remember when was the last time Iraq had a gay pride parade. As a matter of fact, they'd kill
Good
people
point.
like him.
Yeah.
So we're very tolerant. In the Old Testament, that we were told to kill people for certain sins. In America today, we don't do that. We do preach to them, and if they choose to have that lifestyle, quite frankly, they're killing themselves.
Right. It's against the law to speak out against homosexuality in London now. Were you threatened with arrest at all?
Every day.
Yeah.
But when the Bobbies saw us, they knew we were willing to go to jail for what we believed.
Amazing. Final segment with Pastor Ruben Israel, right after this break. Pastor Israel, you have a situation going on in Dearborn, Michigan, right?
That's
Michigan.
right.
Tell us about that.
Dearborn, for some reason, is a mecca where Muslims seem to have taken over.
Right.
And so a number of years ago, they arrested 4 Christians for just passing out literature, which provoked me. And I took about a dozen guys, and we've been going to Dearborn, Michigan. 2 years ago, the city was throwing debris at us for over an hour. We got it on video, and the police did nothing. And so they finally decided for us that we were going to be arrested if we didn't leave. And we have attorneys right now fighting that case. This past year, Dearborn did not host that event. The Muslim community said due to religious tension, they didn't want to have it again.
Oh, good.
And so that was great, but now we got the Muslims angry at us this time. But we're trying to keep the free speech alive. And as I mentioned, you may not like my method, you may not like how we preach, but we're like the yellow canary in the gold mine. If we don't come out, if free speech is hindered, freedom of the press is next.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're going to soon tell you, we don't want you mentioning that.
That's right.
We don't want you showing that picture, and we're going to tell you what to say, and don't say that. And so freedom of the speech is something very vital in America.
So you have the case is the ongoing case right now?
Yes, it is. It's we lost it in Dearborn, but that was expected. And so now we moved it up, and now we appealed it to Detroit.
Oh, good. Do you receive donations from people?
It's on our website, but we don't live by that. We support ourselves and try to go out and do this because so many TV evangelists demand that you need to support them.
I know.
But no, there is a place where you could support us, and everything that kicks into that goes right into preaching. Bail money to get guys out in America for preaching, and so it's utilized in that regard.
And we have about a minute left here. You on your way to Russia?
We're going to the Olympics in Russia. That's right. We just decided to do that, and so I'm getting my visa, and we got our tickets, and we'll be preaching in Russia because the Olympics is not going to be the topic. Homosexuality is.
Right.
And so we are going to be there to voice what God has to say about that particular subject.
The president of Russia is against homosexuality. He's made that clear.
That's right. Putin actually is against homosexual marriage, and even doesn't want mosques built in Russia.
Wow. That's unusual for a president to be so bold.
Yes, it is.
And it's happening in Russia and not in America.
That's right. Shame on America.
It is. That's right. Pastor Ruben Israel, it's an honor to meet you.
Thank you, Jesse.
Thank you so much for coming in.
God bless you.
All right, and God bless you.
Rest in peace to Ruben Israel. He reportedly died in mid-June of this year, 2023. That was April, I believe, of 2015. JLP interviewed Ruben Israel. And he interviewed him another time with Dean Saxton, Brother Dean Saxton, who was an open-air preacher out of Arizona, a young man with some boldness to him as well, a bold Christian man. I don't think he's still preaching. He's just doing his own thing now, which is cool. But we appreciated Ruben Israel, and rest in peace, sir. And we wish his family well. Ruben Israel in Southern California, beautiful Southern California, LA area. And to answer your questions, guys, some of you guys in the chat were wondering what the bleeps were, what all the bleeps were. JLP was not cussing, nor was Ruben Israel. They were indeed saying PDF file, because that's what a lot of people, a lot of controversial figures It's an accusation that they lodged against the so-called prophet Muhammad. So they're going after him hard. But just wanted to bleep the kind of an ugly word, I guess. So just to be on the safe side. I am James Hake, filling in for Jesse Lee, if you don't already know, for this week and probably Monday. He ought to be back Tuesday, although, again, I'll believe it when I see it. Just call me Doubting Hake. In the meantime, it is Hake, Hassan, Nick, the American anchor baby, and Sean. We're filling in and making it happen on the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. We're taking your calls. We will be reading your super chats. But before I get to that, tomorrow is The Fallen State with Jesse Lee Peterson, a premiere on the Fallen State YouTube channel, as well as the Jesse Lee Peterson Rumble. It will be streaming there. There is a Fallen State Rumble, by the way. It has the archive of basically everything that we release, as well as the Fallen State BitChute, if you're one of those BitChute people. But JLP interviewed John Zherka, Jon, and his last name Zherka. Some of you guys are quite familiar with him. I am a little bit familiar with him, and he's a little bit familiar with me, actually. Did you know? He is familiar with Hake, thanks to Modern Day Debate. But anyway, JLP interviewed him for The Fallen State in person. So here's that teaser. Enjoy. And he's another edgy Christian man, not too dissimilar to Ruben Israel. Maybe a little bit different. Here it is.
Next time on The Fallen State.
Jesus is king, and that's it. You don't fall in love with your wife.
Right, you
love God.
Because when you're not turned to your father, the woman is your God.
Women suck at everything. They need to get out of the workforce and just start getting pregnant like the good old days.
Are you helping men to turn back to God?
These pastors and priests and stuff, oh, you're a little too radical. I'm doing your job for you, so shut the up, get the out of the way.
Do you believe racism exists?
I'm the only here. When you're on cocaine, this hits a lot harder. You are the best pastor I've ever met.
Wow. So check that out, guys. John Zherka. A lot of you guys appreciate his boldness, and I can definitely appreciate it as well. But in the meantime, let's get to some calls here. We have Deontay has been on hold out of Orlando, Florida for quite some time. Deontay, thanks for calling and thanks for holding. You're live on the Jesse Lee Peterson Show, guest hosted by Hake and the crew of experts. What's up, man?
Good morning, Hake and the crew. How are you doing today?
Doing well, man. Appreciate you.
All is well.
Good.
I got a question for you about thoughts. Do you believe, are you of the belief that all thoughts are all lies all the time?
I don't know. I've heard JLP say it, and at first when he was saying it, I didn't understand it. But as I've paid more and more attention, I've noticed that, man, a whole lot of them are lies. And so I kind of live with that in the back of my mind oftentimes when I am aware. And I do notice that life definitely goes better when I don't listen to those thoughts. So I'm not necessarily of the total belief. I don't know for absolutely certain, but I think that he's onto something when he says that, JLP, that is. And I so much so that I wore the T-shirt the other day. All thoughts are all lies all the time. How about you? What do you think about it?
I know that they're all lies all the time.
Repeat that? You're coming in slightly muffled. Repeat what you said.
Can you hear me okay?
That's sounding better, I think. Go ahead.
I had to use my chest.
Yeah, definitely. You
no,
say it with your chest.
All thoughts. Yeah, I believe all thoughts are all lies all the time. And for me, this is a personal experience. I had started listening to Jesse probably like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And, you know, when he first said it, in intellectually, I understood it intellectually.
Yeah.
But recently, I don't know, something, it kind of just, I started getting back into the silent prayer, and I just, at some point I just said, I'm not going to believe any of these thoughts anymore. And it's just been so peaceful since then. Like,
nice, man.
Everything else is like wiped away. And and that's why I was asking, I just kind of want to hear other people to see if it was similar for them.
Yeah.
Because it's like this, now I feel like I'm on this balance of like staying in the present. Like I don't want to go back. I don't want to believe in the thoughts no more. Like I don't want to go into this other realm because I feel like I'm walking with God.
Yeah.
Because I'm right there. Like I'm just not thinking. I'm just moving and doing.
Nice.
And I'm not thinking about it anymore. So I was just curious on, any of the crew, do they believe that all thoughts are lies, or are they still kind of on the fence about it?
Well, crew, you experts want to come in here and weigh in on this? That's a great report though. While these guys if they're coming in, if they're able to come in, Nick and Sean and definitely Hassan. That's a nice report. And Jesus himself in the Bible, it is Bible Thumper Thursday, he stated, do not think about your life. That was one of the, I guess that's a command, grammatically speaking. He said, do not think about your life. And he said, do not worry. And most of the time when you're thinking about your life, that is worry. And you're right, it's so much easier. He said, take my yoke upon you, my yoke is easy, my burden is light. Yoke is, I guess, that thing that they put on the oxen. And you're supposed to just be a workhorse. So, nice, man. That's cool. Go ahead.
Another thing that happened was when the first time I started just repeating to myself all the time that all thoughts are lies all the time.
Yeah.
The thought came in, the devil said to me, you can't do this all day. You can't do this all day. You're going to get tired.
Right.
You can't do this all day.
That's, yeah.
It's the weirdest thing. And then I just kept saying it, repeating it in my mind, just keep repeating it. Like, and it keeps me aware of where I am right now. And it's been nonstop. And even though the devil said, no, you can't keep doing this, it's been nonstop.
Yeah.
And so I just feel like, I'm on this. That's why I say I just want to know if anybody else has that same experience, or is this like I don't know. I just wanted to ask y'all.
I think only a few find it, and stay with it. Wow, is it really? If you can hold over for several minutes into the second hour here, I can get the experts to respond to what you said, Deontay in Orlando. Yeah. We got to go to break. I got to read the news. I want to stay disciplined on the Jesse Lee Peterson show. We have a strict time schedule. So can you hold on, man?
Yes, sir.
Okay, appreciate it. Deontay in Orlando, Florida. We will be right back, guys. Hake is coming in with Hake News, not fake news. We'll be right back to your calls and the experts and more archive JLP throwbacks, perhaps. Be right back.
We have a counseling service, and I have to admit, thanks to God, it is the best counseling service on this side of heaven. I counsel with men and women, families, individuals around the world. Most people are unhappy, they're miserable, they have rough lives, they're depressed, suicidal, young and old, of all races. I understand, I know why, and I do understand it. Because exactly what's happening in me is happening with everybody outside of me, inside of them. And I've noticed that with those who really, really, really want to understand, they will become it just like that, out of one counseling session. If you need counseling, you can go to rebuildingtheman.com or call 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. Best counseling service on this side of heaven.
Electric car infrastructure, a communist buzzword, is being built. And extreme heat, more than 140 million Americans are under a heat warning today. It is the summertime, and it's going to be a little bit of an unusual summer, unusually warm summer for some, okay? It happens. It's natural. It's a release. And the Hunter Biden is getting that plea deal, inflation news. The Federal Reserve is indeed raising their interest rate. Not that anybody should care, right? Hopefully. This is the end of hour one of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show, guests hosted by Hake and the crew, the experts. We will be right back to hour two to your calls. JLP is out of town, if you're not already aware, for a week or so here. He should be back next week on Tuesday, if the Lord is willing and the creek does not rise. Anyway, first, Hake news, not fake news. Electric cars, seven major automakers are coming together to build a massive charging network for electric vehicles in North America. That is, I guess, Mexico. Does Mexico count as North America? I think so. Could be wrong. USA and Canada. The companies are General Motors, BMW, Honda, Hyundai, Kia, Mercedes-Benz, and you ever heard of this? Stellantis. They plan to install at least 30,000 chargers in the United States and Canada. I guess not Mexico. They know better. In an attempt to make electric vehicles more attractive to consumers. Because, the government's forcing them to make them. Demon rats. Extreme heat. More than 140 million Americans from coast to coast are under heat alerts today, per Commie Nonsense Network. Parts of the Northeast will see their highest temperatures this year, while temperatures in the Midwest will be up 20 degrees above normal. Wow. The extreme weather has also gripped the country's southern tier from southern California to Florida since June. And Phoenix, Arizona, one of the hardest hit cities in the summer's scorching heat, is in its fourth week in a row of temperatures over 110 degrees in their highs, smashing a previous record of 18 straight days. Wow. So-called President Sleepy Joe Biden is expected to announce actions to combat extreme weather in a briefing today. All these phony politicians swooping in, acting like they're going to save the day. Evil people. As the heat wave expands across the United States, Hunter Biden's plea deal, the president's son, wayward son, prodigal son, we love him, right? Hunter Biden. And the so-called Injustice Department, they're going to make a plea deal over tax charges, although it's on hold after a federal judge said in a dramatic court hearing on Wednesday that she, a woman judge, was not ready to accept a revised agreement between both parties. Earlier Wednesday, Hunter Biden and federal prosecutors agreed on a revised and limited plea deal after the Trump-appointed judge said she had concerns about the parties seemingly linking the tax plea deal to resolving a felony gun charge. Wow. Interesting. She doesn't want any corruption or special treatment, I guess. The hearing ended with the President Biden's son pleading not guilty for the time being, and the judge asking both sides to file additional briefs explaining the plea deal's legal structuring. And inflation. The Federal Reserve, which is not the government or the people, they raised their benchmark lending rate by a quarter point, whatever that is, Wednesday, lifting interest rates to their highest level in 22 years. 11th rate increase since the Fed began their inflation fight in March 2022. Comes just 1 month after the central bank hit pause in order to assess the state of the economy. Fed officials are estimating one more rate hike this year. According to their latest set of projections, inflation's supposed steady slowdown in recent months has been encouraging American consumers and businesses, but officials reiterated this is kind of boring, huh? post-meeting statement where inflation remains elevated, that the Fed remains highly attentive to inflation risks, suggesting that another rate hike remains on the table. Boring. Let's get back to calls on the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. I am James Hake. Now back to James Hake guest hosting with the experts.
Got to stand up strong, face the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We are also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am James Hake, guest hosting alongside the experts, my fellow experts on the Jesse Lee Peterson Show, as JLP is out of town for a few days yet, okay? He will not be here on Sunday for church with Jesse Lee Peterson. It will be fellowship with Doug. Doug will be running the church service. Isn't that awesome? That's so cool. I'm pumped about having Doug run the church meeting. Last week we had Joel Friday, and it was a hit. Everybody loved it. Well, I saw a couple of complainers. You can't please everybody. And then again, neither can JLP. No man can. Even God. Most people will reject even God. Can you believe it? Yes, I can. It is Bible Thumper Thursday, and I have the experts here, and we have calls to get to. So without further ado, enjoy Bible Thumper Thursday.
Feminism is, I believe God created male and female equal, that Eve is given that wonderful word of being the helpmeet, which is strong rescuer.
What?
For me,
strong
it was
rescuer.
Jesus that made me a feminist.
What?
So I'm going to ask you a question. Is what you're living for worth dying for? Is what you do every day worth dying for? This one knows she loves Jesus. I can tell it in your eyes, girl. Amen.
Stop, please.
When all the men and the big powerful dudes were up having couldn't make a decision about some issue in war, they consulted a woman.
Oh no. Oh, that's terrible. I had never seen that one. That is by the brilliant, the inestimable, well, I don't know these words. American Anchor, baby, put that together. That was Nicolas. Well, very nice. Nice work. Anyway, I got to get back to Deontay out of Orlando, Florida. He's been on hold I put him on hold for 10 more minutes to talk with our experts. He had a question about, do you believe or are you living the reality that all thoughts are all lies all the time? Deontay in Orlando, are you there?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Okay, cool. You're live with Hake, and Hassan is here, and Sean is in here. Sean, do you want to respond to his question? Do you want to reiterate anything that you said, Deontay?
My question was, do you believe that all thoughts are all lies? And if so, when did you come to that conclusion? And how did that affect you moving forward? Do you see the befores and afters?
Yeah, Deontay, I mean, for me, the distinction between practical thoughts and all other thoughts was a big realization for me. I mean, Jesse talks about how we all have practical thoughts, and those are thoughts you sort of pick up like a tool and put down. You don't harp on them all day long. You figure out what you want to eat for dinner, you have the dinner, and then you just move on. You figure out how you're going to get to work. You do that, and then you just move on. It's like any sort of tool. It's like a hammer or a, wrench or anything like that. You pick it up, you use it, and then you put it down, and you don't keep thinking about the hammer all day long. But the thoughts that are all lies all the time are all of the, and I'm speaking for Jesse. I can't, say this is exactly what he means, but for me, it's all the judgments that we make. Those are the thoughts that are all lies all the time. All the judgmental, qualitative type of thoughts about life and what it really means and your position in it and all that. But there are practical thoughts that come to us in the moment that we all use, and we use it like a tool. You know what I mean?
So you do believe that all thoughts are all lies all the time?
Right.
When did you personally come to that conclusion?
Well, I started listening to Jesse, I want to say 2018, 19, something around that time. And a lot of the things he said, I mean, there are certain things he says still to this day that I don't fully grasp. But that was one of the things early on, all thoughts are all lies all the time, that it just didn't seem real to me. How could it possibly be that but like I said, I was getting it confused with practical thoughts and then all other thoughts as far as, judging yourself and others and the world around you. So,
but
yeah, I'd say around 2018, 19.
So today, in this current moment, you do not believe, so you don't even, you do not acknowledge the imagination when it comes up currently, like today?
Well, it depends on what you mean by acknowledge. I mean, you are conscious of it and you watch it, but you don't judge it. The mind, Satan plays tricks on us through the mind, and the mind plays both sides. Man, I heard some things do stick out to me. I heard Nick one day in church a while back, sometime last year, talking about how the mind plays both sides, and 1 minute it'll be telling you one thing, and then 5 minutes later it'll be telling you the exact opposite. And if you believe those value type thoughts that are coming from your mind, it's just going to get super confusing. Like Jesse says, one day you think you're a king, the next day you think you're worthless. Both of them are lies.
Or do this, or don't do this, or whatever.
Right. Do you distinguish between the practical thoughts and the thoughts that Jesse might be talking about? In other words, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, no, I was just responding. Personally, I can see the difference between, I don't even call it a practical thought. It's just you just go, you just do. Like, yeah. I don't need to really even think about what I'm having for dinner.
Right.
Like, just if there's something in the store, oh, I want to have this for dinner. Yeah. I don't know if that's actually like a thought, because I'm not sitting there dwelling on anything. Like, it's just kind of like, I guess it's fleeting. But then anything else that's imagination, when it pops up, it's for me personally, it's just saying all thoughts are all lies all the time, or either I hold all thoughts into captivity, and it'll be there, like it's in, like I could see it going on, but it fades away quickly. I don't know what the future holds, but that's just my current reality of what I got going on. So, do you see a difference between pre-believing in the thoughts and now, and what is that difference for you?
A phrase that comes to mind is living by revelation. I don't think it's a phrase that Jesse uses quite often, but it could be what he means by not trusting all of the thoughts. Those practical thoughts that you get, they come to you in the moment. It's not something that you can necessarily foresee. You can't foresee what you need to do in the moment, but they come to that's how the truth comes to you as well. The real truth is not something that you can foresee in the future, and it's not something that you can look back in the past and and see necessarily. It's something that comes to you. It always comes to you in the moment. If it's not in the moment, it's not the truth. We know the past doesn't exist, the future doesn't exist. So, living by revelation is a phrase that is stuck with me. Those practical thoughts are things that are revealed to you they're revealed to you in the moment, and you can't foresee them. You can't possibly foresee exactly what that's going to be like.
So what's the difference of your life before and after?
Oh man. A peace that passes understanding, you can't fully grasp or put into words. And it's not, I wouldn't even call it a feeling. Jesse would refer to it more as a knowing. You know that you know that you know. And it's just a letting go. That's what it is. It's just a letting go. When things aren't going your way, it's still all good. You know what I mean?
I'm having a hard time understanding. Like, okay, I don't know, maybe.
Well, so
you don't see any real difference, or you do?
Oh, absolutely. I don't recognize who I was, 5, 6, never mind 10 years ago. If I were to say the things I say now to myself at 18 or even 22, 23, like that person at 23, 22, 23 would be like, what are you talking about? I have no idea what you're talking about. So, yeah, big change. How's your life going? Like, what's going on with you?
My life has gone from having just always overthinking situations, always worried about what other people think, always living in my own mind, trying to keep up with an image, all the facade of what I used to put onto society. I used to always try to live up to society standards, even from just competing, always being competitive, always trying to be the best. I was always yearning and searching for something. And recently, and this is after I started listening to Jesse. I was listening to Jesse for about 3 years, and my life got better because I started to take more accountability.
Mm-hmm.
But there was still I was still flirting with the thoughts.
Yeah.
And not just flirting, I was all out intimate with the thoughts. I was making, like, the thoughts were a part of me. And even when I would say I wasn't even believing in the thoughts, but I was intellectually really still believing in the thought that I didn't believe in the thought. And at some point, God just was just like, I don't know what happened. I just stopped believing in the thoughts. I just stopped. And I was like, and it's like everything went quiet, but there's chatter, but the chatter doesn't affect what I do or what I say, and I just keep moving forward.
Right.
So I feel like I'm on a balance beam,
mm-hmm.
right, of living in the present.
I hear you.
And I don't want to fall out to the future or the past. I just want to stay on the straight and narrow.
I hear you.
Like, I was talking to a buddy yesterday. I don't even want to go back. I don't even want to think about going back. It's a whole different realm of reality. That's why I'm trying to ask and trying to see if, like, did you happen to have that type of experience, or was it different, or, what was your thoughts and opinions, or maybe not thoughts and opinions, but your reality?
Yeah, it's a continued practice too. You're meant to die daily. We all do the silent prayer and work on it daily. So I can't say I never get caught up in thoughts. That still happens. I definitely feel differently about those times when I do get caught up. But so you would say that Jesse helped you to look within and get to know yourself, and he helped you to realize these things about yourself?
Jesse, from my perspective, Jesse pointed the way.
Yeah, exactly.
He was like, hey, look, it's over there. It's like, I think somebody just said it yesterday. He said, like, you could take a horse to, or a video I saw basically said you could take a horse to water, but you can't make them drink.
Yeah.
Like, he pointed the way of the well.
Right.
Now it was up to us, or up to me as an individual to actually go drink from the well.
Yep. Yeah, that's the important. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Let me ask you. So when you say you do get caught up in the thoughts, like how do you? So if you say you don't believe in the thoughts, but sometimes you get caught up in the thought, how do you still? What tricks you to come back into that thought? How do you revert back to that thought? Like, because you know not to think about the thoughts or to deal with them. How do you keep getting sucked up into it?
I mean, Satan is the trickster. I don't realize it as it's happening. You know, I only realize it a day or two after, and then I think back and I go, oh, I was totally caught up in the thought in the last 24 hours, the last day, and I wonder how that happened. He just, yeah, you're right. I mean, he tricked me. I got tricked.
Caught you unaware.
I understand.
Caught me all unawares, like.
But it's crazy how that works, because if you, like I say, I can only speak from I don't know what's going on inside of any of y'all, right? I'm just speaking from what's going on inside of me, and I'm trying to see maybe if that relates to other people, and maybe if we have common ground, or even if you could, like, we could just have like dialogue on the situation. And from what I've noticed is that from the silent prayer is a tool in the tool belt, but it's not the. I've done the silent prayer, but the silent prayer now, it's not, I don't want to say it's not everything, but it's something for me that's basically to keep me in awareness, but I'm in awareness all day. All day I'm saying all thoughts are all lies. I'm just repeating it to myself at all times. And I use the silent prayer as refuel to come back and to constantly be reminding myself that all thoughts are all lies. And now I have this, I believe it's a deeper understanding that I do it in the morning to be ready for the day, for the entire day. But I do it at night to be ready for the night, because even at night I wake up in the middle of a sleep and I'm saying all thoughts are all lies. In the middle of the night. So the demons aren't even in the dreams. Like, I don't have bad dreams or nothing.
Nice.
It's like, it's just always this constant all thoughts, all lies. And like I told Hake earlier, it's when I first started, the devil kept telling me, you're not going to be able to keep this up all day.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to keep this up all day.
I like that point that you brought up last hour when you said that, because that's what feeds people's doubts, that they can actually stick with it and do it and live this life or that life that you're talking about. People listen to the devil thinking that they cannot do it.
There's a lot of, like, there's always thoughts, like, oh, well, what are people thinking? What are people thinking about this? What are people thinking? What are people, like, but at the same time, it's like, all those thoughts are lies. I don't even listen. Like, I know they're there. I can see them, but I'm not listening to them and continue having this conversation, because maybe we figure something. Maybe there's more dialogue to be had, or something different to be had. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yep.
I won't listen to them. I don't know if that's how you are operating or not. And that's what I was just trying to figure out is, what do y'all think about that? Or how do y'all, maneuver around that? I didn't hear from Hassan.
You want to hear from Hassan? Hassan, you want to chime in on this? The Bible, as Hassan is getting ready, the Bible says, he who endures to the end will be saved. So it's kind of like what Sean and you were talking about staying with it and not just thinking that you have it and then resting on your laurels or something. You have to stay with it. And, you mentioned picking out food. Are you fat or are you fit, Deontay?
I'm not fat, but I'm not as fit as I used to be in the military.
Okay.
And I used to be more fit, but, I'm not fat either.
Okay.
I don't really think about, I try not to, that's like, again, the thoughts, like, I try to stay healthy.
Yeah.
But I don't try to do nothing. I don't let it consume me where
Nice.
I'm a fitness nut and I don't let it consume me where I just get out of hand. I just live my life. If I feel like I need to do push-ups, I have to go do push-ups.
Yeah.
I don't think about it. I'm in this like I said, it's a balance beam of just all thoughts are lies. I don't try to let it, because it'll consume. I've been at the point where I was in the military and I had to work out all the time because I just wanted to be the top guy there.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to be top. I wanted to be
the
most quote unquote alpha.
Right.
But that's also living in the thoughts. It's like it's an insecurity. It's like I felt insecure if I wasn't the top dog. So it was fueling me up. It was like kind of how Sneeko was talking. Like I want to be the best. I want to compete. I want to do this. But really, it's from a place of insecurity. Of if I'm the bottom guy, I'm going to feel like shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Wanting to be alpha is beta.
Spelled it all the way out.
Right. And now it's like I'm in this state of, okay, it's not that I don't want to, I don't want anything. It's that, this.
I got you. I know where you're coming from.
What's right.
Yeah. Hassan.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Who want to hear from me? What a mess.
Well, you have that great song out, so I thought that.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Which great song?
The one where Joel did the choreograph. I don't know the word.
Yeah, nice.
They nailed him to the cross?
The cross.
Nice.
Yeah, that one right there.
And Deontay knows that they're all great, so it really wouldn't have mattered what you said there.
Right.
Can I get one of the white guys to say the word for me? Choreography.
Choreography.
Oh man. Okay.
And Hassan is quite enough too.
Oh no, Hake said it better. Anyway, yeah, I would say that sometimes I do have a deception of a thought and a revelation, and if I can't tell the difference, then I just don't do anything until it's super clear that it's been revealed, and it doesn't try to hide as a thought. But as far as like when you said people talking about you or whatever, yeah, I think noticing those thoughts and then realizing that, like people who are maybe scared to get up and talk, or, oh, if I do this, people are going to think a certain thing. I think embracing those things is good, because a lot of times those thoughts are like crippling to where like it doesn't really exist in all actuality. Like, yeah, people's opinions exist, I guess, but it's kind of like, for me, when I have those thoughts or like an anxiety thing, and it might be my ego, but I run towards it because I kind of relish in that. I almost relish in like what do they call, like career suicide? Like if you run in front of a bus, like I like enjoy it or something like that. So, but I think that's probably so many years of having fear of it and just trying to overcome it, and then you get into like an exercise of it. But yeah, the easiest thing for me is to realize that we're gonna die one day. So at least on that day you can live. When you overcome that fear of like other people, no matter what happens when you go up and do the thing, you live that day, So.
Well, let me ask, do you believe currently that all thoughts are all lies all the time?
I do. It's just hard for me to decipher sometimes if it's a thought or if it's a obviously, like Sean said, there's practical thoughts. So sometimes that is kind of hard to decipher, but for me it's harder to decipher the thought from like the revelation. And I'd be like, oh, God's revealing this to me right now. I need to go do it. But then if I don't do anything and wait, I realize, oh no, that was a disguised thought that like I thought was a revelation. So I think just having patience in deciphering what is true and what isn't is still challenging for me.
So you and tell me if I'm wrong. So you're saying basically that you can't see the difference between the devil and the revelations.
Most of the times I can, but I would say there's still a solid 35% of the time still that I get a little overzealous, and I'll be like, oh wow, God's revealing this thing to me. I need to go do it right now, because God want me to do this. And I realize that when I don't do it and I wait a little bit, I'm like, oh no, that wasn't from God.
How do you stay aware? How do you stay in the present? Or do you find yourself slipping out of the present? Or are you constantly in the present, and how so?
I would say, yeah, I'm doing a much better job. I'd say if we're putting percentages on stuff like I have been, I'd say a solid 85% of the time I'm in the present. But what I realize is that when I'm in the present, I can see when I'm reacting out of ego, and I can see when I'm believing the thoughts. It doesn't stop me from doing it. I still do it. But I know that, oh, wow, this thing that's rising up in me right now is evil, but I still do it. To give you an example, The other day, I got kicked out of this baptism thing at this church, and they actually didn't kick me out. They said something about my dog. So what I did was I went back and took my dog back, and then came back and all this whole thing. But the entire time I was doing it,
you were being defiant? You're defiantly bringing the dog back?
No.
Okay.
I was obeying their rules.
Oh, okay. But take you and your dog to the back of the
No, they
meeting?
just said the dog has to leave.
Okay.
So I took the dog back to my house.
Okay.
And then went back just myself.
Okay.
But the entire time that I was doing it, it was 1,000% fueled by, how dare you talk to me in this way? So it was wrong. It was evil. It was ego. But I couldn't stop. I did it. And I showed out, and I.
So you made it a scene even though you complied.
Exactly.
Okay.
But it was wrong. My point is that it was wrong. But I was aware of it, and I saw it. I saw the entire thing.
Well, so when that happened, because I'm trying to get understanding. When that happened, were you like in the present, or did you believe in these? Like, how did you get caught in that? Like, what? You know what I mean? Did you tell yourself like these thoughts are lies, like from the beginning, or did you and it just still popped up, or like how did that? Like, what went on inside of you when that happened? If you don't mind me asking.
No, absolutely. No, I was aware of it completely. I was aware of the thoughts. I was aware of the feeling that was in me. I was aware that it was wrong and evil. But yeah, you could say I believed in it, or I didn't have the will, not my will or whoever's will of God, whatever, to stop it.
Oh, I know what I'm going to ask. Did you judge it? Were you judging that? Like when that action happened, did you like, dang, I shouldn't have did that, or something like that?
No, I wasn't judging it, but I definitely the entire time was like, wow, this is so crazy. This is happening right now, because I know that it's happening, and I'm watching it. I'm having this conversation probably with the devil at that time, but I was just so...
For sure with the devil.
What?
For sure with the devil. What are you talking about?
Yeah, well, whatever. But the point is that I was completely aware, yes, and was like, and I enjoyed it. The problem is I enjoy it still sometimes, if I'm being honest.
You enjoy playing with the devil?
Well, that's why, like, when Jesse says, do you love your hell, or most people love their hell, he's right. Mm-hmm. We do. Well, I'll say I do sometimes.
What a mess, huh, Deontay?
I'm not judging, man.
Yeah,
'cause I
right.
understand.
Me neither.
Me neither.
I get it, because it's easy. I feel like for myself, I see it, but now it's like, even sometimes like I see it, but I just don't. I just want to stay in this peace and mind and be able to do things like even this conversation right here. Most of the time, I wouldn't even have this type of conversation.
Right.
Yeah.
Too deep, too personal.
But it's also because I know that I can't stop it myself.
I gotta run, Deontay. Appreciate your call, man. Happy Bible Thumper Thursday and happy White History Month.
Thank you, buddy.
Thanks, y'all. Have a great day.
All right, you as well. We'll be right back.
Now, I totally disagree with the way things are going, but you can't be angry because that's what the enemy wants. He wants to control you. They do things to make you mad so they can control you. It's like being married. And the wife would do things to make you mad, or she'll do things to make you feel good. And men do that to women too when they want something from the woman, especially sex. They'll make her feel good or they'll make her angry. And the woman's gonna have to say, you don't want to be angry. You want to speak up. You want to disagree with what's going on. It's wrong, but do not be angry. Then you won't have fear. You won't have doubt. You won't have worries. You'll be able to see, but you got to stay away from anger. That's why you must forgive your mothers and your fathers so that you can overcome the spirit of anger. It's a spirit and it's wicked. Nothing good in anger because it has no love, folks. You need love to defeat evil. And love is not a weakness. It's a strength. It's from God. It's His nature.
This is the Jesse Lee Peterson Show, guest hosted by Hake and Hake's fellow experts. Sean is here, the new producer of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show, Hassan, and American Anchor Baby is here as well. The Hake Report is coming up after the JLP show today. JLP is out of town. He'll be back Tuesday. I don't believe, because I don't believe anything until actually it happens most of the time. Like, Anchor Baby going to be live at noon? Believe it when it happens. And but Doug will be filling in for Church with JLP. So you will enjoy that. You will watch or join us in person, and you will like it. Rebuildingtheman.com/church. You can check out the Throwback Archive service that did premiere yesterday at 5 p.m. Pacific. Normally it's 4 p.m., but I was remiss. We do have The Fallen State coming out. Let's go ahead and play that little John Zerka thing that's going to premiere tomorrow at noon. TheFallenState.tv if you need to find links to the Fallen State channels. Here it is.
Next time on The Fallen State.
Jesus is king and that's it. You don't fall in love with your wife.
Right, you
love
right.
God.
Because when you're not turned to your father, the woman is your God.
Women suck at everything. They need to get out of the workforce and just start getting pregnant like the good old days.
Are you helping men to turn back to God?
These pastors and priests and stuff, oh, you're a little too radical. I'm doing your job for you, so shut the up, get the out of the way.
Do you believe racism exists?
I'm the only here. When you're on cocaine, this hits a lot harder. You are the best pastor I've ever met.
That's John Zerka, Jon Zerka, Zherka. Parental guidance advised, I suppose, right? Maybe PG-13, unless you have a strong-stomached young child. I knew kids my age at 9 years old who watched Terminator 2, watching rated R movies, and 7 years old and 6 years old. But anyway, he's a rated R, but he's Christian and he's well-meaning. So I think it'll be worthwhile to check out. But yeah, he's a little rough around the edges. That's John Zerka on The Fallen State. By the way, you can support JLP. You can do super chats on jesseleepeterson.live, on buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. We will read your super chats soon here. I do have more calls to get to, though, here. So Tyler is in California. He's on the line. He has a warning for all of us on the left coast. How you doing, Tyler?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, Hake?
Doing well as well, thank you. You're live with Sean and Hake and Hassan and Anchor Babies.
Yo, what's up,
around here
guys?
somewhere. Hey.
Yo. Yeah, dude. I live in California. Hey, guys, the water is, like, toxic now. Everyone's getting cancer and stuff. And I talked to some guys on the water board. They know about it. And apparently it's also turning everyone gay. Like, where I live, there's trannies everywhere.
Well,
I don't
think I don't think we're allowed to say it like that. We have to call them transgenders.
All right. Well, the bottom line is...
I don't know if the water is giving people cancer, because people don't really drink much water. I think it's how they live and how they eat. And I mean, I do believe that the water is not as clean as it once was, maybe.
All right. There was a study by a guy named Tyrone Hayes, and this got covered up. The stuff that's in the water, the plastics and that kind of thing, right?
Right, yeah, microplastics.
We're turning, I don't know, frogs or amphibians. You know the Alex Jones thing of the water is turning? All right, that is true. It got covered up.
And that's in California specifically, or everywhere? Or a specific place?
I don't know. I live in California.
Me too.
And like I'm saying, like, you know, it's possible that everyone's on a spectrum, right? But it seems like there's a lot more of it than, you know, has been historic, right? A lot more now, right?
By spectrum, you mean autism?
What?
Or you said everybody's on the spectrum. You mean spectrum of
the
homosexuality or spectrum of, what are you talking about?
Yeah, dude, I don't know anything about that, all right? I'm saying it's possible that is real. I don't know. I'm just giving it respect as an idea or something. But what I do know is the water's all messed up. The people on the water board know about it.
Yeah, DWP.
There's been studies showing it can change the sex of reptiles and amphibians, and it's giving people cancer. Like,
do you have any
feedback on this?
You're talking about drinking tap water, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Tap water.
Most people drink. I'm the only one I know who, and my mother and some people who live out in SGV, maybe my cousins.
Yeah.
They drink. We're the only ones we know who drink tap water, and we're some of the healthier, more morally straight people that I know.
Well, hey, maybe you should stop, bro. Because
yeah, you might be right.
People
I mean, there's issues. There's fluoride in the water. It closes your spirituality gland.
Like, what do you guys think? Like, I don't know. You read the news and stuff. Like,
I think the food. I think the way there's so much going on that in the way people live that's messing up their lives. Water probably contributes a certain amount to it, but the stuff that we eat, the amount of sun we get or don't get, the amount that we're hanging around our cell phones and stuff like that, 5G and all that stuff. I mean, I don't know. I disavow that. But I'm sure there's all kinds of issues.
Do you like research anything? Do you even try to do your job, bro? Do you even try to do your job?
No. What I mean,
you should
but
know
you're calling
about
it my
this stuff,
job.
Dude.
You're calling it my job, but that's not really my job.
Your job is to run the Jesse Lee Peterson show, right?
Right, and
it's
then
all
host
about
my own
like
show.
exposing like evil and
But the evil
fighting
is
wickedness.
I know, but that's not searching out. Dude,
that
this stuff
is your entire job. Your entire job is to find out about this stuff.
No, it isn't.
Expose it.
How do you figure? When I got hired by JLP, it was to be his producer, find some interesting stories to talk about, and get guests. It had nothing to do with expose the water. This is your imagination about what my job is.
Well, it's exposed now, Hake.
But so you say, but I don't know.
I just exposed it. There you go, dude.
Oh, okay. Nice. But I think most people just drink bottled water, and even the bottled water is, plastic in the bottled water. So, what a mess. What type of water do you drink, Tyler?
None of your business.
You're not going to help us?
Help you with what?
You don't love the JLP audience enough to tell them what water to drink?
Well, dude, I'm not an expert on this, dude. I talked to some dudes at the water board, and they flipped out because they knew the water was really messing people up.
Water board, is that the DWP, Department of Water and Power?
Dude, they're just random dudes I do martial arts with, bro. I just randomly know these guys.
Yeah.
And I asked them about it. And then I got this information from multiple other sources.
Right.
And that's pretty much what happened.
Okay.
You're not doing your job, bro.
Yeah, what is
you're not doing your job, Hake.
No, you.
You're trolling me, man.
You're not. As an info warrior, you need to be doing your job.
Bro, I don't get paid, dude. I don't get paid. Am I getting paid right now?
What do you get paid for?
Alex Jones would be disappointed in you.
Yeah, but I'm not getting paid right now. You guys are getting paid.
What is your job? What do you get paid for?
People donate to us.
None of your
see,
business,
get your hand out of our pocket, man.
None of your business,
They
bro.
see value in the spiritual message.
Yeah, dude, that's what I'm doing. It's a spiritual message.
Nice.
Stop drinking the water, you guys. It's going to turn you gay.
Okay. Thanks, Tyler. Take care, man.
Later, bro.
All right. I disavow that just for the sake of the channels and because something seemed off about that. But appreciate it, Tyler, in California. Any follow-up?
I get a bottle, a big, whatever, jug, and I go to one of those alkaline water places. And have them filter it and give you, alkaline water.
Alkaline is better than to balance out if you're acidic.
Right, pH levels.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's, compromised water as well, but...
Is your jug plastic or is it glass?
Plastic.
Now, there's a source. I have actually researched a little bit. So I came across this guy on Twitter. And I'm not going to promote him since I'm on the Jesse Lee Peterson show. On the Hake Report, you guys can ask me. But he said that drink out of glass.
Right.
Because plastic, no matter what it is, he said it will essentially seep into the water.
Right.
So you're swallowing a credit card's worth of plastic every week.
Right. I'm halfway there.
Yeah. So, but alkaline, that's a good start. And you seem fairly healthy, right?
I'm all right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You drink a lot of water.
I do stay hydrated. I definitely could eat more.
Oh, okay.
I got to put on some weight. That's the next big thing.
You exercise?
Yeah.
You do push-ups and crunches and
definitely, yeah.
Nice.
But just got to put on at least 10 pounds.
Okay.
I think that'd be healthier for me.
Yeah.
Because let's say I were to get sick, a really bad, I don't have 10 pounds to lose. You know what I mean? People who get sick and they lose weight.
Right.
I don't have that. So
interesting way of handling it.
Right.
Of thinking about it.
No reserves.
Yeah.
Right.
I've thought about that with sleep. I got these bags under my eyes. I saw them especially yesterday morning. I'm like, why is the chat allowing Hake to have these big old bags? Maybe they're used to seeing me like this.
Yeah.
Maybe I always look like this. I just never look at myself.
Right.
But especially in this light, sleep. If you sleep enough, then you have a reserve. If you eat enough fiber and all that stuff, then you can every now and then have a cheeseburger or pizza or whatever, and it's not going to mess you up. So you sleep enough, then you're not exhausted all the time and
right,
scraping the bottom or whatever.
Yep.
So, good topic, Tyler in California. Appreciate you, man. Okay, let's get to a first-time caller, John in Tennessee, who's on the line here. It's Bible Thumper Thursday, guys. What's up, John in Tennessee? Thanks for calling.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey.
I was just calling. Let's say, everybody's hollering discrimination. I'm a single white guy, and I go fill out a job application. And I'm qualified for the job, but if they hire, a black American, a transgender, a lesbian. They hire, they can holler discrimination if they don't hire them. But, just being a normal white guy, I can't holler, hey, you didn't hire me, discrimination, I just wondering what y'all's thoughts were.
That does happen. You want to make sure that it's not your imagination. I wouldn't think too much about it. God will open up opportunities for you. Never let that be an excuse. There was an incel who was interviewed by JLP who said, a white straight men can't get jobs. And he was leaning on that as an excuse. You don't necessarily sound like the type of man who would lean on that as an excuse. But I wouldn't doubt that there's discrimination against the whites, for sure.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've seen it in the past, got a family member, he works on the railroad, he pretty much said, if you, like a black American, if he applies for the railroad, he's pretty much guaranteed. And they're a union, so it's pretty much impossible for, a black American or a woman, etc., to get fired. But
yeah,
I was just wondering what your else thoughts were on it. I mean, I have a good job, but I just know, like the what.
You do have a good job already?
Yeah, I've got a good job. I've been in the same company for around 10 years.
For a second there, I thought you were yawning as you were speaking. Are you just now waking up?
No, I'm just moving around.
Okay.
Right. No, I've got a good job.
Nice.
I work in the construction field, and
right on.
Yeah, we stay pretty busy, and a lot of Hispanics. And I'll be honest with you, I used to be a little biased towards Hispanics, but after you work with them for 10 years, you really learn the ones that pay their taxes and they do it the legal way. I've learned a lot of respect. Got a lot of respect for them.
Yeah, there's some of them of good character. That's for sure.
Yeah, if you come in the right way, I don't have no problem with it.
Nice. Right on, man.
But I was just...
Any feedback on this? You've seen that in the prior fields that you worked?
Yeah, absolutely. And all these businesses and corporations that are doing this, the whole point of DEI is to have less white people in there, less white males. So they're going to learn their lesson, and in the years to come, productivity is going to go down. Professional, all of the metrics for measuring a good workplace is going to go down, and they're going to learn their lesson, or maybe they won't.
Right.
But it comes in waves too. There were waves of this in the 80s. All those things started going down, and then they lightened up on it a bit, and now they're going to have to learn their lesson again. I don't know how many times it's going to take for them to learn their lesson.
So that you're talking about affirmative action-esque things,
right? Yeah,
in the 80s, huh?
Anything having to do with DEI.
DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, is the buzzword lately, huh?
And when I think about DEI, that couldn't. I mean, if there is a thing as racism, to say we need a certain amount of people from a certain demographic because they represent a certain perspective on life,
right?
It's like.
That's so mama.
I know, right?
Yeah, it is really ridiculous. It's a intellectual excuse to trick the intellectuals who are shallow-minded. What were you about to say?
No, go ahead, John.
I just left the place, and they built some really nice apartments. And I was looking around, I was like, man, I don't see any. It was all like Asians and people. You could tell, they were from Africa, like the African. It was all like immigrants. And I was like, what kind of apartments are these? Well, they said they built all of these apartments. The government is putting all of the immigrants in it, and they're giving them all housing, and they're giving them jobs. Now, well, that must be nice. I don't have to pay.
I mean,
$1,500 a month mortgage.
You sound pretty. You sound like a pretty laid back guy.
Yeah, I'm pretty laid back.
Yeah, that's good, because a lot of people would start realizing the stuff that you're realizing now and get very angry about it. But as long as you watch out for that, it sounds like you're.
I just got about time. Hope the Great White Hope would be back.
Yeah,
for sure.
Well, but make sure that you are saving your money and living wisely, kind of like putting on some weight so that you can survive the lean times, because don't count on Trump winning. I'm not saying he's not going to. I'm not saying he is going to, but make sure that you've set your life up so that you're not one of those people who are a vulnerable population, like the blacks. Many of them are vulnerable populations because they haven't set their lives up well.
Hey, buddy, if you're a worker, there's no excuses. You can always find work.
Yep.
I don't have no problem.
That's a fact. You taking care of yourself? You're healthy?
Oh, yeah. I'm healthy.
Good.
I smoke. I don't drink, nothing like that, but I do smoke. I need to cut back on that. But everything else, man, it's going pretty good. Got a good family. Just bought a new home.
Nice. Congrats.
Just working every day, man. Just real grateful.
If you don't mind my asking, don't dox yourself, but how old are you? 40s, 30s, 20s?
30. I'll be 38 in December.
Nice, man. Cool.
And I was raised up in the country out here. I call from Tennessee, but I was raised up in southeastern Kentucky. A lot of people know from the Hatfield-McCoy feud.
Okay.
I was raised in that area.
I thought that it wasn't necessarily not that I know anything about accents and geography, but I thought that it wasn't a Tennessee accent. And for a brief second, I thought you were trolling. I thought you might be a black pretending to be a white.
No, just
so you're
real
Kentucky,
country, man. Just country.
Nice, man. Well, I appreciate you. Happy White History Month to you, John, in Tennessee.
You too. You guys have a good one. I'll keep watching. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Quickly, before we get to the bottom of the hour or the top of the hour here, and after this new hour, in the beginning of this new hour, I want to get to Super Chats. But I want to get to Scott in Minnesota. He has a comment, I believe. Scott in Minnesota, how are you doing?
Hi, yeah, I'm doing. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine, man. You said you're doing. How you doing today? You cut out there, man.
Oh, I'm doing good.
Good.
I just wanted to leave a comment, really.
Okay.
What I'm thinking, when Trump gets elected president, I think it's going to be great for this country, mainly because with Biden right now, I don't know if you guys heard that there was coke in the White House.
Yeah, I did hear that.
Story for a while.
Yeah,
and
that's funny.
Doing lines in the Oval Office, you know what I mean?
You're speculating that somebody may have been, like Hunter or Sleepy Joe himself, may have been doing lines. Don't look that up, kids. In the Oval Office. You know, man, you're cutting out quite a bit. We're not getting all your words.
Oh, sorry.
That's better.
I was about to say, I think it's Hunter Biden because he's got a history of crack addiction. So, I mean, it would make sense for him to be doing cocaine.
He was addicted to it?
White House, you know?
I know that he's used it. I don't know if he was addicted. He may be. Yeah, I would stay out of the speculation, though, because it could have been in the public area, and, you know, it may be, it may not be. I would just leave it as an I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
It could also be that, you know, Hunter Biden coke off of Joe Biden's dick.
Hey, man, I got to go. Hey, I should have known. My bag. Sorry, kids. I think we have a little bit of time to get to Super Chats, and then we will get back to your calls, guys, and hopefully another JLP throwback. Oh, scratch that. No Super Chats right now. We got to do Hake News, guys. This is the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. He will be back Tuesday, guys. Maybe. Okay? I say maybe because I'm a wait-and-see type of a guy, right? I'm so holy. It's Bible Thumper Thursday. We'll be right back for Hour 3. Guest hosted by Hake and Sean, Hassan, and the Anchor Baby. Be back soon. Hang tight.
Bible Thumper.
You can't run from evil within yourself or outside of self. You got to deal with it. And you need good in order to deal with evil. And God is good. You need to return to the Father And you'll see within you, he will fight the battle for you. And he will fight it without, because he will show you how to deal with it. And you will have no fear. Love God with all your heart, all your soul, all your might, along with nothing else. Nothing else means yourself, your children, your wife, your things, your ego, your reputation, and all that. You can't care about any of that. The children of anger will use it to control you. But if you love God, he will renew your mind, and none of those things will be before him. And so when they go after you, oh, well, you may take my body, you may take my things, but you're not going to take my soul. And that's a true reality.
It is the Korean War anniversary, I guess. 70 years out of the Korean War. What a mess. Rest in peace. How do you say it? Sinead O'Connor? Is that how you say it? Rest in peace, Sinead O'Connor. Gone too soon. I could have saved her. And pray for Mitch McConnell. He seems old and out of it and going through something. But he says he's okay. He's fine. What a mess. And some other news out of Africa and mess. This is the end of hour 2 of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show, guest hosted by the experts. Stay tuned for hour 3. Jesse Lee will not be back until Tuesday, is the idea. So Tuesday, the first day of Men's History Month. This is White History Month. That is August 1st. He ought to be back, but we'll see. Okay? I'll believe it when I see it. He's out of town. But we will be back to your calls, guys, and perhaps an archive throwback of an interview with a preacher, perhaps. But first, fake news, not fake news. Call Me Nonsense Network CNN reports today is the 70th anniversary of the end of the 1950 to 1953 Korean War, one of the first international conflicts of the so-called Cold War era. In 1950, China sent 250,000 troops to the Korean Peninsula supporting its North Korean ally and pushing back the combined forces of South Korea and the United States and other countries under the UN command, the evil UN, that is. Evil versus evil, apparently. Today, North Korea, China, and Russia are commemorating that war while putting up a united front over Ukraine. Wow. U.S. officials said last year that North Korea was selling millions of rockets to Russia. Millions. Wow. For use on the battlefield in Ukraine. Didn't know that North Korea could produce that type of stuff. That's good. I mean, good for them, I guess. And while China has not supplied Russia with weaponry, they have remained steadfastly in Moscow's corner as the war in the Ukraine drags on to its 18th month. It takes two to tango, guys. You could just wash your hands of the mess, but no. You got your ego. Call Me Nonsense Network CNN reports Irish singer Sinead O'Connor. I was calling her Sinead. I guess that's not cute. Who became as well known for her remarkable music as her personal struggles, I guess, has died, according to Ireland's public broadcaster. She was 56 years old, the tender little young age of 56, although she was a bit of an old, weathered 56, if you ask Hake. But still mildly attractive, right? Many remember O'Connor. That's Sinead O'Connor, okay? We use their first names, these ladies, for her outspoken activism and musical achievements, including her popular rendition of the Prince song, Nothing Compares to You, number 2 and the letter U. Prince, rest in peace. He, too, was gone too soon, I guess. Who am I to say, though? No cause of death was immediately available. TMZ said that she was, just days before, she was still being all mama drama over her son having committed suicide a year ago, roughly, in 2022. Who knows, though? That crane collapse in New York City. Did you see that on American Anchor Baby's show yesterday? 12 people were injured after a crane, a big old one, collapsed in New York City. Part of it, anyway. Fell down. Crazy. A fire erupted in the crane's engine while the operator was lifting 16 tons of concrete, officials said. Dramatic video showed flames and smoke rising from the crane before its boom fell, hitting the building across the street. Inspections are underway to assess the structural integrity of the high-rise that was struck. And pray for Mitch McConnell. Here's a quote from Mitch. "I'm fine." That Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell responded to concerns about his health after he froze. He literally just did this. Except he didn't say he was going to do that. For 30 seconds during a news conference on yesterday, McConnell has declined to explain why he froze up. An aide said he was feeling lightheaded. 81 years old, has suffered multiple falls this year, a concussion once. I'm James Hake, now back to JLP, guest hosted.
Got to stand up strong, face the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. This is James Hake filling in for Jesse Lee Peterson on the Jesse Lee Peterson Show, alongside Hassan, Sean, and Nick, the American anchor baby. JLP is out of town. He will be back Tuesday, we're thinking, all right? Tuesday. I'll believe it when I see it. He's been out of town since Sunday. Joel Friday filled in for him this past Sunday, and Doug will be running the meeting at Church Fellowship at Bond this Sunday, July 30th. So make sure you join us. It is Thursday, and it's Bible Thumper Thursday, and I want to dive right into your super chats and calls. But let's enjoy the American anchor baby's handiwork with this Bible Thumper Thursday intro.
I know I'm supposed to go to my seat now, but my mama's a 10-year cancer survivor, and she's standing right there. Wave your hand, mama. 34 treatments of radiation. You can't tell me what God wants.
Somebody beside you don't understand your praise, but I want you to grab somebody around you that don't mind dancing, and I want you to hit the floor right now. Come on in here.
Jesus saw Zacchaeus and he levels the playing field. Jesus institutes an affirmative action program.
And on a weekend where our Supreme Court has taken the biggest strike at the freedoms of black and brown people around the world.
Don't y'all let mama dance by herself.
I became so appreciative of my mother.
No, stop. Black men, don't be crying. Terrible. Crying people. Hassan, let's get in some super chats. I am remiss in not getting to the super chats. I put some in the folder actually, so we're ready to go. How you doing, Hassan?
Amazing, doing nice. How are you?
I'm fine. Having fun filling in on Bible Thumper Thursday.
Absolutely, best day of the week.
It's a nice team effort here.
It's true.
Let's get started. There was a couple from yesterday that I did not get to. I was remiss in not reading. On Rumble, Woozy gave a third Rumble rant yesterday saying, R.I.P. Yes, rest in peace, not only to Sinead O'Connor, but to Get a Job on YouTube. Get a Job. His channel was summarily deleted for no reason, with no warning, according to him. And I believe him. He's real news. What a great loss indeed, says Woozy. You can follow Get a Second Job on Rumble. He certainly exposed many thousands to JLP for the first time whose lives were forever changed like my own. I can't thank you enough. Amazing. Thank you, Woozy, and thank you, and shout out to Get a Job. Did you ever see Get a Job before you met JLP, Hassan?
No, I don't think so.
Jesse Lee Peterson's savage moments?
Yeah, now I enjoy them tremendously.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, we don't... He's not one of us. It's not one of the crew. So, yeah, he's on, it's Get a Job 2 on Rumble now, and he's uploading his original things. Did you know that Get a Job channel got deleted?
No, I heard.
Yeah.
Tragic.
Yeah.
They deleted the whole channel?
Yeah, the whole channel deleted. Gone.
Unbelievable.
But crazy, no warning or anything.
Yep.
What a shame.
Vicious. Those liberals. Those liberals.
Those were some of the first. That was some of the first exposure to Jesse for me. Savage moments.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Jesse Lee Peterson, savage moments. He did something like 96 of them before the channel was offed. It was a hit, a targeted hit. Terrible, man. You can support Get a Job on his Patreon though, and he also has a Teespring store. I have my Get a Job sticker here. I support him because I know that I see value in what he does. He's putting out JLP compilations in a digestible way, and people laugh about it, and then they get hooked in on the depth, the realness, the truth.
Yeah, there's so many people that definitely that was their
Yeah.
gateway.
Right. Yep. Get a Job, The Fallen State, Slut Walk.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. Green Wall with a Diamond says Get a Job 2 lives on Rumble. Don't trust the woke. Nice. Green Wall on D Live with a diamond yesterday. Thank you, Green Wall. Go ahead, Hassan, if you want to read some of these.
Oh, yes, sir. On D Live from Kid Combo 1 with a diamond. No Obomo, Mr. Chest, and hey.
And then he has a wild face emoji with tongue sticking out and goofy eyes.
A white supremacist sign.
White powers. Okay. Illuminati 666 sign, which I disavow, I guess. I don't necessarily disavow it. Smoke emojis and 4 laughing face emojis with tears coming out sideways.
6.
6 of them. Oh yeah, you're right. I didn't see the second line. Nice. Well, okay. So, shall we open the Obama chest right now while I'm thinking about it? Because surely I'm gonna forget at the bottom of this hour.
It's true.
Let's go ahead and open the Obama chest for the D Live redheaded stepchildren. Okay, click the Obama's sunken chest for redistribution of lemons. It's communism on the Chi-Com D Live. Thank you, Kid Combo 1. There was an archive service that premiered yesterday on the Bond YouTube channel, and Madi Uvaldo donated on there a super chat and stated, James, Hassan, Joel, Jesse, Sean. It's spelled S-E-A-N, not S-H-A-W-N. But thank you, Madi. And Nick, you guys are doing a great job and keep up the good work. You guys are amazing and love and appreciate. Thank you, Madi.
Yeah, and thanks for tuning in to Joel Friday's show the other day.
Oh, yeah, she gave a super chat over there, too.
Thank you very much.
Indeed.
And from Green Wall on with a diamond, God puts kids on loan to parents. Well said, Hake.
Thank you, Greenwald. That was a statement. I think I stole that from JLP, and I restated it to Bill Lockwood. On Tuesday, Country and Western Tuesday, Hake interviewed Bill Lockwood.
Great. It was a great interview.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
Talked about to whom do the children belong? Parents or the government? And it's the parents' responsibility to take care of the children on loan from God. Nice. Thank you, Greenwall. On D Live, Bodran Bear donated a diamond and said, there is nothing you can do, only choose truth. He gave this during the the discussion today, that long discussion with that caller Deontay in the first and second hour. There's nothing you can do, only choose truth. Nice, man. Appreciate that super chat. There's one more that came in that I don't have, or maybe two. Yeah, Mike Young says, hey, James Hake, Sean, it's S-E-A-N, Mike Young, not S-H-A-W-N, but appreciate the thought. And Hassan, it's been a while. I've noticed that older video games are now very expensive to buy back. Why do you guys think that is? I think that's because the parents are now shamelessly playing video games still, and or older people are, and they have nostalgia, and so they're paying through the nose. And they have all this disposable income because we have a spoiled society. I think that's why they're paying through the nose for these older video games. But I didn't know. But I didn't know that, Mike Young. Have you heard that?
No.
Does my explanation make logical sense?
Yeah, I mean, I do know at some places they take it very, very seriously. Some places you have to get fingerprinted.
Whoa.
When you go in and trade in your old video games.
Oh.
Because it's like pawning something. So if you trade in something that's fake, they want to know who brought it.
Right.
In some states, you got to fingerprint yourself and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah. Take it pretty seriously.
Yeah. I didn't get a Nintendo system, and by then it was already Super Nintendo, maybe even N64, but I got the original Nintendo when I was in 8th grade, and this was, meanwhile, back when I was in kindergarten, which is only a matter of several years, but when I was in kindergarten was when my friends had Nintendo. Then it was N64, Sega Genesis, and all that stuff, but my brothers and I were late adopters.
What were you playing on it?
A G.I. Joe game.
Nice.
And then I wasn't really the biggest fan of G.I. Joe. I liked Double Dragon, Contra, Super Contra. So up, down, down, left, right, BA, select, start. Something like that. For Infinity Life.
Amazing.
That's the cheat code.
Can't forget that.
Yeah. I think it's a punk rock song, too. So, yeah, I still kind of like video games. I haven't played anything. But nice. You ever get into that, Hassan?
I mean, a couple of years ago, I was definitely in a nostalgic moment and got a Super Nintendo, and it didn't cost me too much. I think it was pretty decent. But
okay.
I don't know, this might be a new craze.
Yeah, it could be.
But I did find a Super Nintendo for not too bad.
Okay, right on. What games?
Just Super Mario.
Oh, okay.
Let's keep it classic.
Yeah, true. Nice. Well, thank you guys. I do believe that is all for now for the super chats. I'll just double check here. Oh, no, there is another one from Joe Mama.
What
he bought a coffee on buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. Joe Mama bought a coffee. Hey, you don't have to drink water to ingest it. Swimming, bathing, washing dishes, etc. all cause water to enter your body. Yeah, why do you think your fingers and toes shrivel up into raisins type of whatever when you're in the water? So it does enter your body. Huh.
Pruny.
Become a prune, yeah. Thank you for the heads up on that, Joe Mama. Yeah. I am a little concerned about the bad water on the West Coast here because I got a super chat on my show, The Hake Report, from Base America First, saying that the Mexicans in Tijuana, are dumping their wastewater, human waste, like poop, and number one, and diarrhea probably, into the Tijuana River, and it's going out into the Pacific Ocean, and it's coming up, and it's fizzing, or what is that stuff called when it sprays on you? All up and down the coast. Probably especially bad in America down towards San Diego, but all the way up into like Washington State, I think.
What the?
Pretty bad, pretty sick stuff.
What you're saying is so dumb, my stomach hurts.
Not to gross you guys out.
Well, doesn't that, I mean, all waste management treatment plants, they take the water out of the solids.
Okay.
And they put it back into the environment.
Oh, well, this is you just dump it right into the river.
But in Tijuana, I doubt they do it in a
They're not filtering it.
regulated way.
Yeah. Tijuana, what a mess. You can get your dental work done there for cheap, I hear, if you trust them. Oh, you can also get kidnapped or killed or something. So watch out. A super chat from Kevin Webb on a diamond on DLive. Amazing job, JLP crew. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Kevin Webb.
Amazing.
And now I believe that is all for now. Shall we get to Tony in California?
I don't see why not.
Let's get to Tony in California. He's been on hold forever. Tony in California, are you there?
Good morning to you. How you doing?
Good morning. Happy White History Month. Doing well.
Yeah. It's a beautiful Thursday. Every day above ground.
Bible Thumper Thursday.
I was calling to speak on your so-called greatest president that you believe ever lived. He's trying to change the Constitution if he become president again and want to become a dictator like his buddy Putin.
Really? Trump?
Yes. And I mean, it's ridiculous. Why would America, the true America, put a tyrant back in office again?
A tyrant?
I don't understand. Yes, I mean, he's a traitor. He's a traitor to America.
A traitor?
Yes. I mean,
you're just throwing out name calling.
No other president ever went against the government because he lost.
Huh?
And he wanted to spread a lie, say that it was stolen from him.
Yeah,
I
completely disavow that. That's the big lie.
I don't understand how y'all gonna keep on supporting a sex offender, and then you will support. Then you want to vote for a person that got a felony.
Are you calling? Now you're just going out of control, Tony.
He is a sex offender.
Stop it.
Offender.
What you mean stop? He just got convicted of being a sex offender, man. Come on.
No, that's not what he got convicted of.
Well, he got convicted of.
You think he's a registered? He has to register.
Yes, he's a registered sex offender.
No, you're just making up. You don't understand, Tony.
Oh, I don't understand, but he got sued for $10 million and said he was found guilty on sex or being an offender.
No. And by the way, this is we're coming up towards August, which is Men's History Month, and you have a grown man joining in with the female-minded liberals to smear our greatest president, an upstanding, clean, repentant, former slut maker.
If he would repent, it wouldn't have been January 6th if he would repent.
Oh, come on.
Come on.
What did Trump do on January 6th?
Oh, he said, come on down. I'll be there with you.
Right.
That's what he said.
And he wanted to.
Down and stand strong.
And he wanted to. He almost grabbed the wheel from the Secret Service, according to one lady's story.
He wanted to go back. Back. What you going back for?
He wanted to stand united and protest alongside his fellow Americans.
The damage was already done.
I know, yeah, the damage was already done.
3 hours later, he was to repent. Hey, y'all quit that. Y'all quit that now. 3 hours later, and they up in there dancing, him and his son.
Did you hear him beforehand? Did you hear him?
Huh?
Did you hear him in his speech before the alleged riot started, in which he said to be peaceful?
No,
you didn't hear him.
I heard.
That's because you only listen to commie nonsense.
Excuse me?
You only listen to commie nonsense.
No, that was the truth. You want me to play it for you? I can play it for you right now. If you want me to, I can play it for you, bro. I listen to it daily.
You want to play his whole speech before the alleged riot?
I listened to it.
You listened to it? Did you hear him?
He said he listens to it.
Be peaceful
about this tyrant.
Tony says he listens to it daily.
You listen to it daily. How come you're so into Trump?
Excuse me?
How come you're so into our greatest president?
Because I want him to go to prison for his behavior, for his crime. He's a mob boss. And y'all are the part of the mob and cult conditions under him.
Beautiful.
That's why. The
Nice.
man is not above the law.
Right.
If you do the crime, you should do the time.
What time?
That's my
What crime?
motto, my friend.
You're a mess. All right. Well, thank you. Very, very edifying phone call. Do you have any feedback for him?
Hey,
Sean?
yeah, and tell Jesse, I hope you feel better.
Feel better? He's out of town, dude. He's not sick.
Nah, he's sick. He got COVID again.
Well, thank you for the well wishes.
Go get a chimney,
Anyway.
Tony.
Excuse me?
Go get a chimney.
A chimney?
Yeah, you need to- You need to buy a house with a chimney.
Curry. Eat some of that curry.
Curry? Eat some
Y'all have
curry.
a wonderful day.
All right,
dude.
Bye, Tony. I hung up on him. Let's get to a grown-up, shall we? Lynn is on the line from Montgomery, Alabama. Lynn, thank you for calling and holding. You're live with Hake and the experts.
Thank you.
You're coming in a little muffled. Stay close to your phone.
Can you hear me now?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. I wanted to tell you about a pesticide called atrazine. There was a study that came out at Berkeley, the University of California, and it's saying that it wreaks havoc with the sex lives of adult male frogs, emasculating 3/4 of them and turning 1 inch pin into females. And that's according to a new study at the University of California.
This sounds familiar, like what the great Alex Jones, whom I disavow for the sake of the channels, but it sounds like the true study that he cited, that people agree is a true study.
That's why I'm calling in, based on his phone call.
Oh, the prior guy's phone call. Alex
Right.
Jones hasn't called in today, but Tyler from California called in about the
No,
water being
Tyler.
messed up.
Yes,
No,
that's correct.
I totally. And where was this water? Do you remember?
It's a common pesticide that's used in California,
Oh.
atrazine.
How do you spell it, roughly?
It's ATRAZINE, I believe.
I feel like I've seen that word before, atrazine.
It's a pesticide it's saying that it's wreaking havoc on the sex lives of the adult frogs, the male frogs.
And that pesticide is getting in the water.
Yes, it's getting in the water because they use it readily throughout California.
Do they use it on GMO plants, the pesticide?
I don't know much about it. I just
Yeah.
know that it's widely used throughout California.
Wow.
But it is demasculating the male frogs, the adult male frogs.
You know, there's so much that's emasculating men, human men today. There's the effeminate culture, the focus on feelings. There is, foods, and I'm sure water too. I wouldn't. I mean, I'm not sure, but I wouldn't dispute it. I'm not saying that it's not happening, for sure. But there's many things, many ways in which they're attacking masculinity, the so-called education system, women in the leading churches, women leading the homes, so-called. So, yeah, there's so much going on. It's really awful.
Yes.
There's soy, I heard. There's beer. There is IPAs because those flowers they're using the estrogenic part of the flower to make the hops or something like that. I don't know if they're making hops.
And look, this didn't just happen. This is something that has been planned out for a long time. What they're doing.
Oh, you're saying that it's completely intentional.
But yeah, I'm saying it's a spiritual warfare, and they're backed by a group of people.
I'm not going to ask which group for the sake of the channel, but
okay.
I wouldn't doubt that there's some ill-willed people who really do. They don't value human lives. I mean, they're for abortion. What makes you think that they're going to value living, born human beings? You know.
They don't, and the worst is yet to come.
Yeah, it's good to be fit and healthy and spiritually sound and of sound mind, so that you can be prepared and ready for trouble to come, for sure.
Right, time is short. We've got to show people the way.
Nice. How do you do that?
You tell them about Jesus.
Right on. I appreciate your call, Lynn.
You share the gospel.
How'd you hear about the JLP show? How long you been listening?
Oh, I've been listening for a long time, probably a year now.
Oh, okay, right on. Did you
about
hear?
A year ago, I was on your show.
How'd you come across it?
I think it just came across my stream. Is how I initially found it.
On YouTube or something?
Yes.
Cool. Right on. Have you called in? You've called in before?
I have. I talked to you before.
To me specifically, too?
Correct.
Wow. You sound somewhat familiar, but I have a bad memory. I drink too much atrazine.
No, don't drink the water.
Yeah. It's great to hear from you.
Thank you. And if I could just leave one thing with your audience, is, we're not fighting against flesh and blood.
Right.
This is dark places, principalities in dark places. It's a spiritual warfare going on, and it has been.
Yeah. That's why you can't. That's why you can't hate the group that you mentioned who are behind some of this evil. You hate no one. You can't hate no one. Jesus on the cross even said, "Forgive them, for they know not what they do." Yeah.
A lot of people that are connected to the secret society, until they get to a certain degree, they don't really know what they're into as far as Satan worshiping. True.
Yeah. So many of us worship Satan and don't even know it. Even Christians. Some Christians.
That's why they say the Bible says that the road to hell is wide and to heaven is narrow.
Yeah, many paths.
Straight and narrow. Yeah, and I don't think that means that you have to. I don't think that means. I think that means just the people that generally might think that they know the Lord, like the devil knows the Lord is real.
Yeah.
But, in this particular society, the secret society, Satan is their god.
How did you get into learning about this stuff? Where are you learning it, if you don't mind my asking?
I've been following this one commentator. He was part of this society, and he reached the highest rank, and he's putting it all out there.
Okay. Well, happy White History Month.
Pardon?
I wanted to wish you a happy White History Month before I let you go. Sean, do you have any response to stuff that you say?
Yeah, I went to a limbo drone, man. I'll be praying for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, man, thank you. Thank you for taking my call, and God bless you all.
All right. You as well, Lynn.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for taking my call. Bye-bye.
All right, bye. Lynn in Montgomery, Alabama. Nice lady, right? Man, I don't know if we're going to be able to have time to play a throwback clip. Well, we have some shorter ones that we could jump to, but we have a lot of calls, and I appreciate the calls, and I want caller out of Connecticut. Josh, how you doing, man?
How you doing?
Hey, doing well.
How you doing, guys?
Fine.
First off, Yahweh's blessings on all of us, for real. Blessings to all.
Nice, thank you. Right on.
I'm out here in Connecticut, right?
Yeah.
I went to an all-white school, so I feel like I got a good connection to both sides.
Are you black or are you white?
Well, yeah, I'm black. I'm Jamaican American.
Okay.
Yeah. So
and you have a connection to both the blacks. You have a connection to both the black Americans and the white Americans.
Yeah, redneck Americans are that. Those are my brothers.
Nice. Where was this white school? You don't dox yourself, but.
Yeah, for real. It's up north Connecticut, close to Massachusetts.
Cool.
So Hickville, farm town.
How'd they treat you?
Well, majority okay. Yeah, talking about times from middle school and high school. So even the adult white men, you would get stops. I would get stops on the street if I'm walking to my friend's house. They'd be like, "Hey, monkey, here's a banana," and they'll throw a banana at me.
Wow.
Happened like once or twice.
Would you eat the banana?
Would I? No, I'm not gonna subjugate myself to that.
Well, I wasn't talking about subjugating. I was talking about just taking it. Like God gives you lemons, or the life gives you lemons, make lemonade. supposed racist white man.
I was a young kid at the time. You know, I was a young kid at the time. Probably an elder, 30-plus-year-old white man did that to me and his buddy. It is what it is. You know.
Yeah. People are crazy. You know? Hold on for me, Josh. I'm gonna come back to you. We got to take a quick break here. If you can hang on a couple of minutes. Okay. Hold on, sir. We'll be right back. This is the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. We are guest hosting for the week and a day or so. Be right back. Hang tight.
I noticed after a while that when these guys overcome their anger, they have amazing ideas about starting a business, but because they've been told that if you don't get a loan from the bank, or if you don't have a 5-year plan, or if you don't do this, and it's just simply not true. It's the first step. With faith, then all things are possible. So, but the most important thing is to return to the Father. That yearning that you have, that emptiness, that void, is not for more stuff. It's not for more friends. It is a return to the Father, because there's no way you can return to God and be angry at your earthly father. So thank you all so much, right? People around the world donated to Bond at rebuildingtheman.com, or they call 800-411-2663, and we're still committed to pointing the right way for men and women to return to the Father.
And we're back, guys. I am James Hake filling in for JLP. The Hake Report is coming up next. I will be hosting the Hake Report in about a half an hour. We'll be starting up the video feed after we end the video feed for JLP. And I'll be live on the audio feeds as well, ought to be. And after that, at noon Pacific time today, I do believe we will have the American Anchor, baby. Yes, indeed. Check him out on YouTube as well as Rumble. And he has the podcast going. So check him out. Tomorrow we have the Fallen State. We showed you the Zerka thing. And I may play that teaser if we have time later this hour. But I want to get right back to calls here. It's Bible Thumper Thursday. And we're also talking about whites and blacks and Trump. Josh is in Connecticut. He was talking about getting harassed as a kid by one or two, a handful of whites when he grew up going to an all-white school up in northern Connecticut. Josh, are you there, man?
Hey, buddy.
Hey.
Yes, I'm here. Yeah, so I want to be quick because, that was my past thing, and it happens. There's ignorance on both sides of this.
Yeah, of course. There's evil people and nutty people of all races everywhere.
Of all races. Now, but the topic is, though, so going through high school, right, getting into college, right, I met some other kids who went to Trump University or Trump School.
Oh, okay.
And when I met them, they're good kids, but you get the kind of generalization that they're kind of like rich, ignorant white kids.
Oh, okay. Sort of not really living in the real world. When you say kids, do you mean like college age?
College age. Yeah.
Okay. So they're adults technically, but they act like kids mentally.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
They're able to vote, but they're still children in mind.
Yeah. That's so common nowadays. It seems like most of us.
Yes.
Go ahead.
It's real common.
Yeah.
But the thing is, right, so I do like Trump, you feel me?
Yeah.
But I got a sense, growing up, I'm only 30 now, but I got a sense that it's a double-headed dragon, if you know what I mean by that.
What's a two-headed dragon? What is?
pretty much our government. The American government is a double-headed dragon. It's
Oh.
one dragon, but one head is red and one head is blue.
Oh, like the Republicans and the Republicans and demon rats are part of the same evil.
Yes, this is part of the same thing. Because, like, I only figured that out because look what happened to Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah. Yeah, Tulsi
You know,
Gabbard.
like-
And look at what happened on the Republican side with Congressman Steve King. He was ousted from his own party, from his committee assignments. I don't know if you're familiar with Congressman Steve King of Iowa. He was a man who talked about Western civilization, and he was smeared as a white supremacist by the New York Times. And the Republicans got on board and ousted him because they believe in this fake racism nonsense, when Congressman Steve King would not have thrown a banana at you. He's not a nutty person. He's like a decent person. He treats all people well. He's just fair-minded.
Bet and believe. Like,
yeah.
Bet and believe. Because there's well more awesome white brothers that I have than, bad ones.
Yeah.
I don't. But the only thing I was talking about is like with Donald Trump. At the first start, I'm all for him. Feel me?
Yeah.
But then he goes through his 4 years, and we understand that he's getting the bad end of the stick. Like he can't get anything done. Anything that he tries to push through doesn't go through. Right?
Yeah.
But the one thing that gets me about Trump is that he's for the surveillance state.
Oh yeah.
And
such as
I just can't.
What did he? I think you're right. But what did he say or do? What do you remember? What specifically it was? That sounds familiar. I'm not saying that you're wrong about that. Do you remember the details?
Well, specifically, all right. So Donald Trump is a law guy.
Yeah,
right?
law and order.
He stated for himself. He's a law and order guy, which is fine. But I remember when he was coming in, he's for the surveillance state, for putting in new cameras, making these what is it? The face recognizing cameras and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
The things that he's still pushing the same agenda that, for example, China has.
Uh-huh. Yeah. China's doing that like crazy to their citizens, huh?
Exactly. So it's like, I understood that it is a double-headed dragon because you can't be president and not be a bad guy, it seems like.
Yeah.
It seems like the presidency might be the best actor. Like the president is an actor, and like he acts for the votes, but at the end of the day, who is the real controller?
Right. I heard that Ronald Reagan was a great president. I don't know. I was a little kid at the time. And there were things that Ronald Reagan did that later he regretted, or that later to this day we're regretting. That he did a lot of evil, he did a lot of things that turned out really badly. But he also, I heard, brought a lot of morality back to the office, which that didn't really last long, But he did. I think that's the same way with Trump. I think Trump is the man for the job, but we cannot expect him not to do some things that we're going to have some serious qualms and worse, serious beefs with. I know that he's going to do stuff that we disagree with.
Yeah, because there's positions of power that is more powerful than the presidency, like the military complex, the military. Like military complex. And
are you going to vote for Trump?
Last time I voted I had to write in the ballot, and I voted for Jesus Christ.
Oh, really? So in 2020, you voted for Jesus Christ?
2020. No, the last 20. Whoa, Trump. The first time Trump went, I voted for Trump, but the second time I had to vote for Jesus Christ because I see like there's not. I'm not saying I'm hopeless, but it's like I understand what actually is going on, and you ain't gonna go nowhere without Jesus Christ. So I figured like it's better for me to write on the ballot Jesus Christ himself and stuff it in and leave.
But Trump is Jesus's man. He's just kind of like Hassan. He does stuff that may be wrong, but he's still, I think, a fellow Christian.
I hear that, but you want to know something? There's fellow Christians right now who are I'm not even going to say and talk about like the homosexuality. There's homosexual
doing wrong.
Right
yeah.
now, right. There's Christians who don't know that they're giving praise to Lucifer. Right. I'm a follower of Jesus Christ. I can't even call myself a Christian anymore because that is so it's confused. Right.
Yeah, but that just because other people are confused about it doesn't mean you have to be. Because in the Bible they were calling. In the Bible, they were calling people Christians because they were little Christs. Are you a little Christ?
Say that one more time. A little Christ?
Yeah. Are you like a little brother of Christ?
I'm a follower of Jesus Christ. I'm a follower. Yeshua is his real name. I'm a follower of Yeshua.
Uh-huh.
All right. I'm a follower of Yahweh, Yeshua's Father. The Holy Trinity, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. But the fact that Christianity has so many denominations, Methodist, Lutheran, Baptist, it's confusing.
But, but you don't have to be confused. Just because they live in confusion and division doesn't mean you have to live divided.
No, exactly. I'm not divided. I prefer calling myself a follower of Jesus Christ.
Oh, okay. All right. A lot of people like that. Say again?
Yeah, it's more. I'm defining who I am. I'm not just, what type of Christian are you?
Right.
That's why so it needs to be a little bit of balance between it.
Do you have any feedback for this?
With all the denominations.
I want to get Sean in here on this if he has any feedback for you, Josh, in Connecticut.
Definitely. Last time he didn't want to talk to me, but.
Oh, okay. Sean, you have
anything? Josh. I think you make some good points. No one who ever enters the White House is going to be 100% perfect. You're never going to have anyone in there who you 100% agree with. There's always going to be something about them that you disagree with. But you, me, sounds like we're on the same page. Like of
amazing work.
What?
Say that one more time, bro.
No, I'm just saying of all of the options, there seems to be one that's obvious. And as far as you writing Jesus Christ on the ballot, I'll be honest, I think it's kind of a waste. Like in an election, there are only two options, and you have to choose one of the two options. One of the two is going to become president, so you might as well. I mean, if it's between Trump and Biden,
it may be a waste.
Like Trump and Biden,
right. It may be a waste.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry for cutting you off.
It's all good. Go ahead.
You're absolutely right. It may be a waste, but just knowing that we actually don't have a choice of the decision because they give us one head or the other head is like, again, I would vote for Tulsi Gabbard, and instead of Donald Trump. She's a military veteran, right? And like, I'm not even talking about just vote for a woman because that's not the case. She was the best. She was the best for the job, but she got screwed over.
You really think so?
That is like.
You think Tulsi would have been a better president than Trump?
I'll say, yeah, kind of. I think she might have been because she was a military veteran.
But you know that she's for homosexuality.
Veteran.
She used to be a Christian, and then she caved and became all for, maybe even more for the homosexuals than Trump is. I know Trump is kind of for them too, but she's she's a Democrat. Democrats are just, they don't even pretend.
That one right there would be a strike on her vote for me. You feel me?
Yeah. So it's a strike against her, but you still might have voted for her?
Yeah, that would have been something where, like, I would have voted for her, and then, boom, she's for the degradation of humanity.
You're a black American Christian, Jamaican American Christian, and you don't have any issue with a woman trying to lead? You think that that's something that you would support?
No, trust me, that's not. Don't get me wrong. I say in the Bible says for a woman not to be a pastor.
Right? But a president is okay with you? You think?
Well, a president is not no pastor.
Right.
Right. So I'm not completely against it. I'm not a I got to make sure I watch my words. I'm not a jerk. Right?
Oh, okay.
Where
Yeah.
I don't really care if there is a woman president or not. You feel me?
Okay.
As long as they're good for the job. I was not for Hillary Clinton. She's evil.
Right.
You know? But
Obviously.
I'm not a jerk to the point where like, oh no, a woman can never be president. Why not? I'm not
Wow,
qualified.
you remind me of Joel Friday. No, I don't know if Joel. you ever listen to Joel Friday TV?
No, I don't.
You should check him out. He's cool. He's on JLP's network as well. He's on Tuesdays after hate.
I definitely check it out.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not on that Fresh and Spit podcast.
No. Joel's not like that.
He's nothing.
Joel is innocent and real and himself, and he says stuff that and he doesn't mind the chat calling him beta. He just says what he believes.
Yeah.
And so I think you remind me of him a little bit in that you know.
Well, I understand where you're coming from. I ain't beta at all, but I feel
right.
what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm a loving man. I'm a man of God. I have a mother. I have sisters. I have a little brother. You feel me? I'm a protector of women.
Right on.
I'm a protector of children. You know, so like it. You know, it's not going to the state where I'm like, I can't go to my little sister and say, yeah, you'll never have a chance to be president because it was not for a woman. You know?
Do you want to talk to? There's a caller named David in Texas who says that you're wrong. Would you like to hear from him? Do you want to talk to him right now?
David, his name?
David is in Texas and he's on the line. I have him on hold, and if you don't mind, I'll put him on air along with you.
No problem.
Okay. David in Texas, are you there?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hey, you're live with Josh in Connecticut and
Hey, Josh.
some of the experts.
Hey, Josh. So you were just saying about Trump and he wants to do the surveillance state and all that, but I think it's an important distinction to make is that Trump would do that in the public sector, which I think is very important because when you have fingerprints, face scans, recording of every action taken by a public employee, that allows for more accountability there. And so in the public sector, we should have as much technology for accountability purposes in the public sector. In the private sector, he would never mandate that. He would never make businesses put in cameras. He would never make businesses require anything to basically run a private business. But in the public sector, like I'm all for the surveillance state, as you called it, because that way we can have more accountability and there's more recordings of everything that happens by a public official to report to us. And so we may be able to hold those people accountable. So I just think that's an important distinction to make because just to say flat out that he wants a surveillance state, like that sounds scary, but it's not true.
Are you Scottish or Irish?
Yes, sir.
Scottish, huh? Drip Tracy called it. I was going to say Irish because I'm ignorant on Scottish. Nice, man. I'm part Scottish myself. Anyway,
yes,
go ahead, Josh. Do you follow what David's point is here?
Yo, yeah, David. First of all, I'm completely jealous of your accent. I completely agree with you to a certain state. I'm kind of one of those guys where, like, you know, even Elon Musk's freaking satellites, whatever it's called, that freaks me out.
Right.
It's a little bit too much. It's a little bit too invasive.
Yeah.
You feel me?
But he's a private business owner, so let him run a private business if he wants to run it. If he wants to shoot 100 satellites into space, you know, who cares? There's no one up there. But the thing with surveillance state is it's important to hold public officials accountable because the more visible and transparent what they're doing is, the more scared the bad people are going to be to get into that line of work because they're going to be held accountable. So we're only going to end up with good people and hopefully less people in those positions to run our lives.
Yo, I completely agree with you because I want our public officials to be held accountable for the evil actions that they do, right? But here's the thing. Look at Hunter Biden. Nothing happens to him. Nothing.
Yeah.
Right, but that's the point. That's the point because the people in power right now do not want to mandate anything that will hold public officials accountable. And Joe Biden is like the culprit there, right? Hunter's like a private citizen, so whatever he does is what he does. But Joe Biden is benefiting as a government official, and Hunter's benefiting because his dad is a government official, and they're not running they're not running things in a way that allows for accountability, right? Whereas Trump is saying, I'm going to come in and fingerprint ID, face ID, a recording of public phones and emails, blah, blah, blah. Like, all of that is, that's how the whole Hillary Clinton email scandal and all that. Like, it's important to have as much recording as possible of what public officials are doing.
It's the equivalent of body cameras for cops, huh?
Agreed.
Yeah.
100%.
Interesting.
So, David and Hank. All right, so this is perfect because Hank just said it too. Whereas, like, we vote for somebody. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, yeah. Hank said it like we vote for somebody. But,
he corrected him. David corrected you. He said it Hake. It's Hake, not Hank. I answer to Hank as well because so many people call me that. You're fine, man. Go ahead.
My bad, bro.
Don't even worry about it.
You said it yourself. Like, we'll vote for somebody and we won't see the repercussions till after.
Right. Yep.
Now the key fact is, say Trump comes in, it's only 4 years, and then boom, repercussions for someone else who comes in who may be more, who may be bad, just like say Biden.
Right,
so
but we're in this election cycle. We're not in the 4 years from now election cycle. You have no idea what the landscape's going to look like at that point. But we have to focus on like what's right now. And right now, Trump is the only person that can save us for at least the next 4 years.
Climate change could catch up to us in 4 years, and then it's over.
Trump will stop it.
I'm playing around.
Thing is just like,
Yeah, but he makes a good point. You got to live in the present.
Yeah, Josh. I mean,
but
if you look at if you look at like what you're talking about, right? The people in power right now, they want what you're saying in the private space because they want to be able to tax you more. They want to be able to put more restrictions on businesses. So what you're talking about, surveillance state, the current administration wants that right now on private individuals, not right. The Restrict Act. The Restrict Act will allow them to like watch your doorbell, for example, right? Like they want that on private people right now. Whereas what Trump wants is in the public sector. Like just think about like what you're saying there, because like you got to make that distinction so that you can really understand like who the bad people are. I'm not saying Trump's perfect. Trump's not perfect by any means, but I'm not perfect. And I don't. I'm not looking for perfection. I'm looking for someone that's doing right.
It's a beautiful thing. I just don't have the hope or the faith that these technologies are going to be used on the people.
They'll be misused.
Will be.
Yep, they will be misused.
Yes, that's just where I just don't. There's nothing that tells me that I should have hope or faith that these technologies are going to be used in a proper way.
Do you blame Trump for the vax? Because he was not for mandates ever. Trump.
Yeah. I don't blame him. No.
Do you blame him for the vax? Either of you?
I don't blame him for the vax.
Yeah,
I don't think it was up to him.
Yeah.
So I don't blame him. I don't think it was up to him. I
just think he played it very carefully because it was one of these situations that was unprecedented.
Right.
There really was just one of these things where he played it carefully, and I think that's fair. You have to you can't knock him on either side of it. Like he kept Fauci in. He didn't fire Fauci, which retrospectively he should have, right? But I'm sure even retrospectively he's saying he should have, but you can't, at the time, I didn't even know who Fauci was. I'm like, oh, cool, at least he's got a doctor in here that can help us navigate this. But so you can't blame him for it.
Nice.
Yeah. As far as I remember, he was out there saying things like, take it, don't, if you want to take it, take it. If you don't want to take it, don't take it, even though it was his whole warp speed, project.
Yeah. I think that was his contrast that with the current administration that said, if you don't take it, you're responsible for the death of everybody and shut down it's just when you really just stop and look at it, man, it's so obvious.
Right.
Just look and see what's right and what's wrong, and it's like when
he can
I'm
see,
a big believer that
right and wrong more than most
government
people.
starts under your own roof, and that's where the government starts and ends, and so anybody that's trying to tell you otherwise, just beware.
Yep. A vote for Trump in 2024 is a vote for Jesus Christ.
Agreed.
Indeed. Last word, Josh. We'll let you have the last word. Say again?
I think Trump got bullied into the vaccine pushing initiative, just like all of us did. Just like you said, if you don't take the vax, you're going to kill your mom, you're going to kill your grandma, you're a bad person.
But Trump never said stuff like that. That was more Biden.
He got bullied, I was saying.
Right,
Trump
but
got
I never heard
bullied.
him say that you're a bad person if you don't get it.
Trump didn't say that. The government, like these Fauci people, these government people, they said that.
Blabbermouth Biden did.
Yeah,
Biden was such a
but the fact
dirtbag,
that
huh?
Trump was
The worst. I think misled might be a better word than bullied.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate both of you guys. Happy Bible Thumper Thursday to you. Happy White History Month.
Yes.
Men's History Month is
Happy
next
White
week.
History Month.
JLP will be back next week. We'll be back tomorrow for Get It Off Your Chest Friday. Hope to hear from you guys again. Take care.
Take care, guys. Bye.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.
Take care, Josh. Adrian in Ohio wanted to talk about voicing our prayers, reading the Bible. Russ in Hampton, Virginia wanted to talk about our thoughts on the prosperity gospel. Isa in California wanted to comment on Trump. And the rest of the callers, we cannot get to you. There was a super chat on Buy Me a Coffee. Star Sion, Hank, filling in for JLP, looking great. These crazy New World Order people want to change all the cars into electric. Someone stop them. This world is the devil's playground. Why you looking like my old redneck boyfriend, white dude? Scotty without the glasses on Jesse's seat. Smiley face and thumbs up emoji with the black girl skin. Thank you, Star Sion. Adios, America. We will be back tomorrow. JLP will be back Tuesday. Doug will guest host church. Okay? Bye.
Baba Thumper.
To man up and stand up for what's right if we give our plans up. I know we can have faith in the unseen while we stand up and get back to the way we were designed to be.
Know that so you can something went wrong, but check. I had to get on the track one time. Joel Friday here. Check. Look, stand up. We got fighting to do. We gotta show 'em who boss. He put a Viking in you. He put that lightning in you, igniting the truth. But you beg and blame and lie and hate and never wanna stand for the truth. So what you planning to do? You understand in the lose. You better go talk to your mama. Better stop at the drama. Better drop all the trauma. Boy, you better stand up and up. Put your hand up and hut. Cause if we don't, then we lose. And then we gotta hear the fake news. Whoa. You must know that so you can something went wrong, but face the truth about yourself and just seek first God's kingdom, cause you must know that so you can something went wrong, but face the truth about yourself and just seek first God's kingdom, cause
So, here's what I recommend. I invite you to download my silent prayer, and I want you to start doing it. You just download it, get the points of how to do it, and then after a while, you just do it on your own. It's going to point you in the right direction that your life will be returned to you from God. He will give you your life back, because anyone and all people who has anger, they're not themselves. You are the person that you are angry at. That's why it's so important to get to know yourself so that you can see who you're angry at. And if you're doing the hooping and hollering prayers and things like that, some people get up, oh, praise the Lord, hoop and holler, bless my mama, bless my daddy. Continue to do it. Do both. You will see if you want to stay with the hooping and hollering or do you want to be still and know God? So my gift to you, no charge, at rebuildingtheman.com/church.
Like my cousin, sent me you, and I thank him for that. It was more of a, he thinks the whole everything's a joke. That just adds a little spice to it. But in the heart of what you're saying, there is real things going on. And people want to overlook that. And I'm telling you, Mr. Peterson, I'm not one of those people. And I thank God that, he showed you to me. And sometimes we just need some Jesse in our lives, I guess.
I wish we had more brothers like you. We need more brothers like you. This because we don't have most guys that can, lead black people into the right direction. And I thank you for that, because a lot of people will be like, man, it's still going on. It's racism. Yeah. And I try to tell them, watch his show. Listen to this brother. He's telling the truth.
Take no thought about tomorrow. Yesterday doesn't exist. And you're going to see, man, God is with us and all is well.